welcome to the Shit Show. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And say hello and say hi to everybody and introduce the few that's on the panel tonight. Bruce will be with us in a little bit after he gets home with his errands and work and whatever else is going on. But say hi to Emperor.
How you doing?
Hi, Ruben.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we can say hi to everybody in the chat. Let's see. We've got Six Nation 31 Kings stopped in to say hi. And hope he stays for a little bit. Oh, Meddy's here. Hi, Meddy. Cindy Stafford came in, but I think she had to leave. And I said goodbye to her. And then Bush came in. But he said he'd come in here in a little while because he's at work. And let's see if anybody else. Jerry's in here. Hi, Jerry. Thank you for coming. And no, Sandy didn't come tonight. She says she's got way too much stuff going on at home. So, and she's working. So she has a job every day working for UPS. So, okay. So what do we want to start with tonight? What article? I think we should start with
your show, my dear. What would
I think we should start with the one about the Anthony. Is his name Oliver Anthony? With that one,
Anthony Oliver.
Okay, let's start. Yeah, this one. Do you want to open that, Emperor, or do you want to do it, Ruben? I could do it, but I saw.
No. I'll open it for you. No problem.
Okay.
Let me grab that.
Thank you. Because the tweet that I was going to talk about first is a good news, which is always nice to see. It's he's a singer. Well, he's been started out on his own, singing at home, playing his own guitar, and making his own videos on his camera phone, and then posting them. But the thing is, I wanted to show a little bit, so we'll have to play a little and stop it and talk about it or whatever. Or we can turn the volume down, but I want people to be able to hear some of the song. The song called Richmond, North of Richmond, that one. Yeah. And it's reactions of the people, different people that have podcasts and stuff watching him and their emotions and stuff, because they're very taken back by this song because it touches everyone. It goes across, I think, every age, race, and depending on where you live, if you're rich or poor, it doesn't seem to matter if you live in a trailer house or a mansion or just a medium income home, that everyone seems to be reacting about the same way when they're watching these videos. So I'm going to post it. And Ruben, if you'll play it and let us hear some of it and then watch some of the reactions.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see it. Great.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world.
I don't know how long we're allowed to play it before we get in trouble.
I know.
Has everyone in the chat, have you guys gotten to hear him sing? If you have, put in the chat what you think about him, and what do you guys think about him?
It's heartfelt. It's a heartfelt song. And the thing is that it's hitting a lot of people, and this is basically like a back in the Vietnam War. The culture can shift, and right now people are hurting, and they're having pain. People are self-deleting at a very high rate now. People are complaining about the economy and how things are and their family, and then you have the news media saying the exact same opposite. And in fact, what they're doing to this man is an atrocity.
I think what you have here, I think he is a symptom of the rot that's going on. He is a microcosm. He's one part of a pendulum shift that you're seeing To Ruben's point, in the 50s, we were pretty right wing as a nation. 60s, the pendulum moved. 80s went back to the right. Early 2000s, way far to the left. So what you're seeing in things like Bud Light, like Disney, like Best Buy, like music, like Target, you're starting to see enough people who don't pay attention to these things because they're living their lives, going about their business, stopping and staying because it's now creeping into their lives between having to pay for more and now having to be told what you can say about somebody or how you describe them or how you had to treat them. And regular people are standing up saying, wait a minute, what the hell happened? I went to work, I came home, and the next thing I know, now this. And you have this guy out there saying, you know what, to again, Ruben's point, what everyone else is kind of experiencing is things suck. And they suck across the board, left, right, and center. It doesn't matter. What interests me, what I find very interesting, is the fact that you have people in the middle and people on the right who this is resonating with. Because this isn't so much a political message as far as, oh, this president sucks. It's a, look, everybody who's in charge is responsible for the position we find ourselves in as Americans. But you have people attacking him both personally. I saw a Christian website saying, well, he's talking about the poor and that's a bad thing. No, you dumbass. If you actually listen to the song, that isn't what he said. And it's a great litmus test to find out exactly where you stand, and more importantly, to find out where other people stand in relation to where they are as we as a society, them as a person, and how they see things. If
They're
you
so
wrong of the person, that says a lot about you, and none of it's good.
and they're all litmus tests that are so easy, easy to understand. And again, the way that but younger people, Gen Z or whatever they are, that basically will say like, what do you want in life? And so I'm gonna marry OnlyFans. I get my money this way, and I can do it anywhere I want. The government should pay for everything. It's that mentality of like, and there's no other way of thinking. And then you see it in the news now. You turn it on. I laugh at it. It's a joke, complete joke. Everything. But the thing is that what the government's doing, the media, the military, they're just they're very evil. There's pure evil what they're doing. Everything they're manipulating, doing because they're just greedy for more money, more power. That's all they want.
At the best you can accuse them of is being apathetic to everything around them. Some like benevolent negligence. That's the best you could say.
Well, play a little bit more of it because I want you guys to try to focus in on the intensity of him, what's coming from him when he's singing the song, because I'm sure he wrote this himself. And you can see that he means every word that he sings. And when he sings it and you see the reaction of the people that are sitting there watching him for the first time, you can see that it means something to them. I almost get goosebumps every time I've watched this video over and over again, just for the fact of the response that he gets from total strangers that never heard him sing before, that know nothing about him, don't know, they don't know if he's just some rich guy pretending to be poor or living in the backwoods. They don't really know anything. But the thing is that music can cross every boundary. Okay. And that's what emulates from this on his own. He did this without any record producers, without any video photographers or anything. He did it on his phone. And it's all from the heart and soul of him and going into the hearts and souls of the other people that are, watching it. So go ahead and start it again. Let's see.
I'll do it in 30-second increments, so we're okay. So.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
So I can rock it. The Richmond, north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit. And it's taxed to no end. Okay. Don't the rich man. Don't the rich man.
Oh, this is true. Hello, buddy.
Some of us can't say what we absolutely know is true, and he's articulating.
Wish politicians.
That's the thing. All those comments. It's basically it's basically, how do you say it? Music is from the soul. True music is from the soul. And this
Yeah.
is a soul crying out. Like we all have that moment where you're going, what the fuck's going on here? But this is done he's saying the same thing. I just said right now, but he's saying it eloquently. Something is wrong. The people in the ivory tower, they say, let them eat cake. Basically, they don't want us. They want to manipulate everything because they were given that power. We have embraced technology way too quickly. Information age, the digital age has caused this. It's basically the virus is being infected on us by the media we consume, what we listen to, and then the whole conversation we have on X and the whole, it's like that. They did a Majority Rule that was on like an Orville episode where people upvote and downvote. It's all about the clicks and information, and it's all manipulated. It's crazy.
And the one thing though that stood out to me, I mean, when I first saw him, I was like, oh my God, he's so adorable. That's what I was thinking, how cute he was. And I didn't realize that the first time I saw it was when it was first posted, that he was going to be an overnight sensation. It's the fact how jealous all these giant production companies, people that are scrambling to offer him everything you could ever want, women, money, homes, cars, all these luxuries that most people, I'd say 80% of the people would want, right?
I would. I'd sell you out for a nickel.
See, I would want something too. I don't know what I would do because I've never been in this type of position, but he's already said no.
I know, but that's
different himself. Yeah,
right.
He's putting it out there himself. So I love that fact. To me, that shows character on his behalf, that he did all this work for himself, for his own needs and own wants in his being, not for worldly things. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but that's what made me I just think he's wonderful. I think he's a wonderful singer. I think he can go far as long as he keeps his simple quality of what makes him happy. You know what I mean? He stays himself. And if he does that, I think he could end up having anything he wants without having to sell his soul to anyone in Hollywood or to a production company, and be himself.
I think that only gets you so far. My point being, if he's going to use social media or things like YouTube as the main platform to get his message out there, I think we've seen enough over the last 4, 5, 6 years to see exactly how easy it is for people or these companies to go ahead and really cut down your message and your ability to go ahead and broadcast it. There is one thing if you're signing with a major label can do. I mean, you can put it out there on Spotify, YouTube. You have a much broader range. Now, obviously, it depends on the type of contract he gets and what exactly it says in there. But that gives you a bit of power. That gives you something that you don't necessarily have. I applaud him for turning down the money, for turning down the deals, and wanting to stay independent. I get it. But in today's day and age, you need that help. You need that kind of wide breadth marketing. And again, it all depends on the kind of contract he gets. I hope he's getting good advice. I hope he's talking to the right people. And I will say, this has given me another form of entertainment that me as a very, very petty man enjoy. And that is the fact that there are a lot of people on Twitter and on Facebook who don't know what is north of Richmond or where Richmond is. And I like that. I laugh at this. And it's not, and it's mostly Americans. It's like, all right, that's very funny because they don't know where Richmond, Virginia is. They don't get the Civil War kind of joke that it kind of is. They don't get it. So that's been, again, I'm a petty person and I admit that. And I laugh at these people, and that's great entertainment for me.
Well, go ahead and play a little bit more, and then we'll talk about some more. But I just love it.
Look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground. Cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Ah, Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me.
What?
People like you.
Yeah.
Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is.
That was Ord. He was there.
That was kind of mean that they got to the obese part and then they show the fat guy that was watching him for the reaction. Like, really?
Yeah, but I
that's
don't.
kinda mean.
I don't think. I don't think that is what they were planning on doing it that way. They're
In my
trying to
version, it is because
show.
it's much funnier that way.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone's going to see it the way they want to see it. But what I'm seeing is people enjoying what he's saying. That he had the guts and the wherewithal to show everything, to show it all, to talk about all of it, all the things that we tweet about and we post about and we make memes about, all those things. He did it in a song.
But let me ask you this.
Because he's talented.
It's,
and I hope he gets everything he's ever wanted in his life, and he can help all the people he wanted to in his life, his family, anyone he cares about. I hope that he's able to do that with his newfound glory.
I'm going to take a step into the cynical here. And I want to ask you both this. Want your honest reactions. It's easy to say these things, to say the song when you're recording yourself on your own phone and pick it up to YouTube channel that until a few weeks ago, no one ever looked at, no one ever heard of. This guy's been putting up songs for years and no one's ever looked at any of them. Now that he has this international fame, now that he is front and center in the spotlight, now that he is being the target of a lot of people on the left and a lot of people in the media, will he necessarily continue to hold the line with his principles? Will his songs keep taking on this kind of flavor? Or do you think for his, I don't know, own career or well-being, it backs off a bit? Because most of his songs are not of this nature. This is the one that hits all the right notes in a time in America, where we probably need it most. But for self-preservation,
so you want me to answer you or not?
No. I was asking. It's a legitimate question.
Oh, okay. Well, I've listened to like 4 or 5 other songs. I think one of them was the same song, but it was sung a little bit different because some friends of ours on Spaces have been listening to some of his music, and all of them aren't the same as this song. This song is the one that really strikes a chord because of where we are in the world right now, basically, and in our country. But I think they all seem to come from the same place to me. At least that's how I see it. So the fact that he became an overnight sensation because enough people shared this video of him singing this song that it became a hit. So I think he's still going to be the same person. I mean, in the future. Now, I can't say now if he doesn't get messed up in like criminal activities or doing things that are against the law, like getting drunk and drive, doing drugs, or any of those other bad things that seem to come along with fame for some reason. But if he has a good structured life and he stays the line, I think he can keep doing what he's doing and be happy with himself and still be successful. Many people do it. I mean, look at Blake Sheldon and other ones. I'm not really good at remembering everybody's names and stuff, but there's been quite a few stars that have been able to live their whole life. I mean, there was Joanne Woodward and her husband, Paul Newman. They stayed together for years. I mean, a lifetime for some people. So it is possible to do that. But I guess we'll have to wait to see, 2 or 3 years from now, what happens. I mean, you can look at the TV show Survivor. Yeah, Survivor. That's it. A lot of people won a lot of money and it changed their lives. And some of them spent every dime within a year, snorted it away, and cocaine and hookers or whatever you want to call it. And other people did real good things for their families and, helped paid off their mom's house or whatever it was that they did. But so I think it really does boil down to your character. I mean, look at me. I have 4 sisters and each of us deal with things differently. We still we love the same people, but we love in different ways because we're different people. So we are affected by things differently. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just have to, time will tell. But go ahead, Ruben, it's your turn.
I totally agree with you. The whole idea that he's already turned down these deals, and because he already knows the corruption from the men from the north. And what about the men from the west? L.A., Hollywood, big media. It's all a money scam. Score. So no. Then this guy is gonna do right. And again, the worst thing they can do is set something up, because people are going to already look at his back history, his family, where he came from, and try to point to something. That's low blow bullshit. They can investigate this one guy because his song is #1, and they won't investigate the real crimes that are going on in the world. It is insane.
Yeah, but go ahead. Let's play some more.
All it is, living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men know the Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, because your dollar ain't shit. It ain't. It's taxed to no end, cause the rich men know the rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Damn.
GL.
I have to work overtime tomorrow.
Wow.
That was great. I just love him. I would pay to go. I would go to a concert to see him sing.
Right.
Because I think he's really, really talented, and he played his own instrument, so I know he knows what he's doing. Right. And I'm sure he's went to plenty honky tonks in his life, so I think he knows what to expect, what kind of people hang out in those places, and I hope and I'll pray for him that he makes good decisions with his newfound fame.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really think he's awesome.
Wow, that's crazy.
So what are you thinking? What's your prediction, Emperor? Since you asked us what ours was.
I don't have a prediction. I have a hope. And here's that hope. I don't know anything about Anthony Oliver. Other than the song and what I've learned on social media just in the last few weeks. Rarely throughout history, you have a person that shoots up to fame like this who has an ability to make their stamp in even a small way. I hope that he serves as a great example and not a horrible warning. I hope he holds the line. I hope he sticks to his principles. And if nothing else, at the end of the day, if he does become, rich and wealthy and everything else, you at least point to him and say, this is a person with a gift, with a talent, who made something extraordinary and stuck to it because it meant more to him than any other kind of monetary or material wealth. A Cincinnati type of person, maybe not as important, but the same kind of belief or ideal, and you can hold him up as an example, because most of us are never going to be, rich or famous. But you know what? Most of us can still have the same principles he has.
I think that's really good. That's a really good point of view. But yeah, I wanted to start tonight's show out with something good, because there's so much bad every single day. It just goes on and on and on. And we have no control over it, about the price of food, or the price of gas, whether we're going to get evicted or we're going to lose our job, all those things, or losing our loved ones that are dying off left and right from all kinds of illnesses. and accidents and people, like you said earlier, Ruben, that just can't take it anymore and they're taking their own lives.
Yes.
So when you have all this tragedy, it's just so nice to see somebody he could be a drug addict or a bum or whatever, living in the street, but he chose to do something else with his life. You know, he's got his dogs with him when he makes some of his videos, and he just seems down to earth, and he loves playing his music and singing and writing songs, and he shares them with people. And whether people want to watch him or not is one thing. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of YouTubers, you know, making videos, or on Rumble or Odyssey or whatever platform they're on, TikTok, Instagram, all these things. And just to see someone that actually does something with it, because you expect everyone that makes it big to have an agent or a big company behind them pushing them, right, to get them to be famous, like that Dylan Mulvaney or whatever his name is. Okay, he was just a nobody too, but because somebody picked him up, you know, with money and pushed him out in the limelight and gave him a makeover to make him look like a hot babe or whatever, he became famous for that, infamy or whatever you want to call it. But, not everybody gets that opportunity. Most of us have to do it on our own. And that's why I think another reason why so many people are inspired by him, because he is nothing. He was nobody, just like us, I think something of myself, because I tell people all the time, I'm lucky because I had a wonderful parents and great sisters, and I got a great childhood. I got to travel, and, I guess got a lot of things that I was able to do, and I'm lucky for that. And so many other people didn't have that opportunity. And I know for them, he's inspiring because he's taken the little bit that he had and he's made something huge out of it, because he inspired so many millions of people that listen to his song. So I just wish everyone could take that and think about it and put something like that in their own life. You may not become an overnight sensation with the chance to have cars and riches and tons of money in the bank and travel around and sing your music, but you can make a difference in your neck of the woods. Help somebody, do some good things for people, open the door for someone, smile every day at people. I don't know, just try to be a better version of yourself and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So we'll see. But I don't know what the next one would be. Which one do you guys want to talk about now? Let's see. That was that one. You want to do we'll do the James Woods one.
James Woods. Let me see.
It's the next one underneath that about California's
Oh,
lawless.
there it is. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, you do that, and I'll let you talk about that one, because that's pretty. Anyone that has X now instead of Twitter, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hold on. Oh, stop. I'm trying to fix it. Oh my God, I was freaking out when I saw it. Oh God.
No, yeah, I just go through and find stuff that I just think is outrageous.
I went home.
And it's sad that we have this type of stuff that's just lawlessness going on all around us. Almost every city, well, big cities, not in the little bitty country towns or anything. But yeah, this was very interesting. Yeah.
I'll let it play. I'll stop it after 30 seconds. But it's just insane.
Okay.
Oh shit! Hold up!
So they're jumping all over people's vehicles.
Yeah.
The bad guy, if you're in the car and you're trying to get away because you feel like they're going to bash your windows open and try to kill you or rob you or whatever. But so what are you supposed to do? Just stay home and never go anywhere because you're afraid? I mean,
bowling practice.
Yeah. But the thing is, two different sets of people that just want to go to work, take care of the stuff themselves. And then you also have the group of people that just want to go out and cause chaos and hurt people, either by scaring them or frightening them, threatening them, and then videotaping it and showing their friends what a badass they are or something. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand what they want to get out of it. You know what I mean? It does, to me, none of it makes any sense. Welcome back,
It's a generational cycle.
I apologize. I seem to be having a disconnection on my end. So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great, because I made some great jokes and no one reacted. I'm like, there's no way that they didn't laugh. My microphone must not be working. And
yeah, we didn't hear you. You just disappeared. So sorry. But yeah, we're just watching this chaos in Philly that James Wood shared on his timeline on X.
I can't believe James Woods would lead a riot in Philly and then record it. That was amazing.
No, somebody shared it on his timeline.
I like that one.
So someone recorded him doing it and then shared it on his timeline.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's on his timeline.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go ahead and play some more of it. But is this like every day? Do they do this type of stuff?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Probably not when it's snowing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a little better. But the thing is, okay, you got regular people that live in a regular neighborhood, okay, and they just want to get in their cars, go to the grocery store, go shopping, or go to their jobs, or take their grandmother out for her birthday and stuff like that. And then you got people that harass you constantly. So I just don't see how we're supposed to help. What are we supposed to do about it? How are we
This
supposed
is an
to
America
protect
culling.
their families?
That's what it is.
Do what?
It's an America culling. They do intentionally want less people and cause chaos and cause destruction.
This kind of thing, unfortunately, isn't just happening in America anymore. I don't know if you guys pay attention to what's going on in Europe a lot, but Paris has a similar situation to this very thing, as does Berlin, as does a lot of places in Sweden. And
I know, but what
the exact
do they
same
think they're going to get out of it? The people that are actually performing, like these young kids that are out in the street, what are they getting out of it? I mean,
power.
What's going on in their homes?
Over the last 7-8 years since Obama took over and said, you know what, the kid that Trayvon Martin would look a lot like my son would be. From that point until today, you have been routinely telling people who commit crimes, who are deviants, who go out of the norm to cause issues for everybody else, that's okay. You're simply getting back for years and years, centuries, whatever, of oppression of different kinds. You have people in California, in Seattle, in Chicago, going into stores, running out with thousands of dollars of Gucci bags and jewelry and everything else, and they don't prosecute any of them. Why did they do this? Why wouldn't you? When there are no consequences, when there is no kind of punishment to act like an asshole, regardless of background or color or race, because I see people on Twitter saying, well, it's always the same people. You know what I see? It's always people that think they can get away with something because they can. Here in Cleveland, we have an issue right now, although the Cleveland area in the suburbs and in Columbus, third and fifth fastest growing realty places in the entire nation. Everyone's moving back here. But in Cleveland proper itself, they have a huge problem. Why? No cops. They have about 500 to 600 less cops now than they had a decade ago. If you can't prosecute anybody, if you're not allowed to arrest anybody,
why are there less cops? Did they get fired?
As I was just saying, if you can't arrest anybody, if you're going to get constantly blamed for anything that happens, the minute you arrest someone, they saying, can't breathe, he's beating me, or everything else, why would you want to be a cop? When the screech and cry since the summer of 2020 has been defund the police, why the hell would anyone ever want to be a cop? I'm glad my dad retired and has been retired because he was 30 years for a cop after he got out of Vietnam. It's a
Well,
thankless job. It's a dangerous job that pays squat. Why would anyone want to go through that?
I don't know. I remember talking to a police officer that worked as a cop, but he had another part-time job. And I asked him, I said, "You're a police officer?" Because I've seen him patrol our store, because I was working in a store as a florist. And I asked him why he was working a part-time job as a Coca-Cola guy, the guy that would come and, stock the shelves and fill the machines and things like that. And he said, because he can't make enough money as a police officer. And this is somebody that when they go to these things, like what you're seeing right now with these kids that could get knifed or shot or beat, and then they have to go home and not be able to work because they're injured on the job. I don't know what the pay would be after that or what the procedures are, but they risk getting injured every day they go to work, and we pay them pennies. You know what I mean? I always thought when I was growing up that paramedics and police officers and firemen and doctors and stuff like that always made a lot more money because of the type of job that we're doing.
They don't.
Yeah. I've growing up wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be when I started realizing the truth of it. And, it's to me, it's really sad that we have cities that have utter chaos simply because they can't afford to pay for more police officers.
Now,
and to pay them enough money. I mean, what amount of money is all really worth risking dying over? No money to me. I mean, I've worked in a chicken plant and it was pretty nasty money. But to me, when I got my check, I felt proud that I did it. I worked and I was able to do a good job and have my own money. I mean, I don't know.
Now I know that basically what would happen theoretically, like we had that the summer of 24 be like the summer of 1968, or a hashtag, not hashtag, like 2020, in the sense that lawlessness in the streets. Conveniently, I think basically there will be chaos in the streets. And if it happens in states, blue states, those states will have like a martial law start, because they're going to basically blame other people. They're going to cause the chaos to lock it down, to make everything be in fear. So that's the thing. That's how 2024. You haven't seen anything yet. Lots of things are going to go down, and basically, like Emperor said, Europe, Berlin, Paris, all over, is chaos is starting all over the place. And it's basically,
I don't think the regular population will put up with it again. Not after what we saw last time. They ran unchecked through the streets, burning and destroying things. I think the general population, the general American, won't put up with that again. Blue or red state. At least I hope so.
But we still have people. We still have people riding in their cars wearing a mask when they're by themselves.
I know,
but I think those people would be controlled.
But what I'm saying here is, like, let's say there's a riot in downtown Chicago, and it's a fire. It's a massive riot. Just even on worse than what they had. Remember, it's a psyop. They did a test with that singer, that TikToker in New York. How fast can it get done? How large is the group? What else do we need to do? So there is some sick motherfucker out there doing the analytics on how much social reach that hit, so that if we want to do an attack, we could do it. These things. It's insane. The things that they are planning to do, or again, you can pick it up. They'll do it. Operation Northwoods, all those different things that that they did. God, it's insane. Sorry.
Okay, well, let's move on to another one now. That one's depressing. You know what I mean?
It's the show's all about uplifting people.
Boy, there's a lot of them on here though that are really depressing. This one's pretty bad. The animal cruelty one, because I'm seeing a lot of that. Because remember, that's how I got my dog. Someone dumped my dog.
Cruel to it? That's horrible.
No, someone dumped it to
Oh, there it
starve.
is. I found it. I found it.
You know, out in the middle of nowhere, and I found her on my porch chewing up all my stuff. But because she was just a pup, you know, she didn't have anywhere to go.
Oops, sorry,
And the houses are very apart. But she could have got run over. I mean, or shot because somebody saw her and she was trying to get something or whatever in their yard, so they got rid of her. So it's sad because I see this so much, and I wish we had better laws in every state about people doing this. I think you can go ahead and show this and not worry about it because I don't think it's any music or anything like that. So let's just play it. And plus, I'm not monetized anyway, so I don't know why I care. But watch this guy. He's going to tie this dog up and leave it. And she looks like she had pups. So we don't know if he got rid of the pups somewhere or what. But why didn't he just let her run free? I mean, why does he feel like he has to chain her? Oh, I guess because she'll follow him home. He walked up there. But
he only has enough
this
room.
happens all the time. When I had that dog and I had went to the pound because I was going to leave her there, you know, take her there and leave her. And I asked them, and they said, you can't leave her. There's a waiting list. You have to call or sign her up. And then you can find out. And I was, how long's the waiting list? She goes, probably March of next year. That's how many animals get dropped off at the dog park, you know, or at the dog, you know, pound or whatever you want to call it. But it's terrible. But has that happened to you guys in your towns very often? Do you guys have really good pounds that are really good about finding homes for their pets that are dumped and dropped off or not?
Our local one here during COVID went down to no cats and no dogs. Since then, I mean, I suppose that your mileage may vary. Here in the suburbs where I'm at, it's pretty common for, you know, animals to move through shelters pretty quickly. It really depends. We're pretty good out here, but that's just locally. I'm not sure how it is elsewhere. So
so your town that you live in, about how many people you have?
In my town is about 8,000 people. Now, granted, I mean, we're, you know, one suburb next, the next, you know, and from where I'm at, and I'm west of Cleveland a bit, quite a ways, but I don't know if it's just because it's a smaller community, but you know, again, we're pretty good about that. You don't see this kind of thing. And if you do, you better hope your face doesn't make it to the evening news because people will find you.
Bruce said he would be joining us in a little while. He had some stuff to take care of, I guess, with work or something, but that's okay. But yeah, it just breaks my heart. Especially the fact that she looked like she had babies because she looked like she was filled with milk. And I don't know what happened to the puppies. You know, I don't know if they sold the puppies. What kind of dog did she look like? She looked like a small bulldog or something, something like that. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just pathetic to me that every single year out here like this in these rural areas, that people just drive down the road because they know there's no cameras. And they know there's farms or whatever, and they just dump them. And they dump litters of kittens. I remember one day I was driving a back road to go to Sandy's to visit her. And I saw a lineman, you know, he had his little truck there and he was by a pole. But he was digging around on the ground, you know, in the high brush and stuff. So I pulled over up in front of his van and I said, "Are you okay? You know, can I help you?" And because I thought maybe he dropped some tools or something. And he said, "Well, I found these." And he picks it up and he has 3 kittens.
Oh.
And he said, "I can hear some other ones." And he handed them to me. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want them." You know, I'm allergic to cats. But I held them while he was looking for and he found 2 more. And we didn't know if there was any more out there. But someone dropped 5 kittens. It didn't even look like they're old enough to be away from their mother. So I took 2 of them and I told him I would try to give them away because I was, you know, it's a rural area. There's nothing. And he said he would take the other ones. And I was able to give them away. But it's just, what kind of person can do this to a defenseless animal? I mean, taking it to the pound is really bad anyways, or even taking it to the vet to have them put to sleep. You know what I mean? Is another option. But to me, those are better than taking kittens or a dog and dumping them where they may never eat or they could get hit by a car because it's right next to the interstate, or something like that. It's just, to me, it's heartbreaking, and I think it's on a rise. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into it, but it just seems like more and more people are doing stuff like this, cruel things. Like you saw the kids that just for no reason attack people that, aren't doing anything, but just trying to get home or go to work or do something. And they're my mom called them hoodlums, that she didn't want us staying out late or hanging out or doing dumb things because that's what people would think we were. And you run the risk of getting hurt because somebody comes outside thinking that you're a hoodlum because you're out there yelling and screaming or damaging property. You could run the risk of getting shot or arrested or something
I only
like
do
that.
that when we win championship games, and it's socially acceptable.
But I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just heartbreaking that it just seems like our society is imploding. And every little thing like that is what it makes me think of.
I made myself laugh right now, basically. I said, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah again. And what's so funny is, what happened that time? Just kidding.
When God intervened. But the thing is, like I was saying, when we wanted to start the show with that song, and you see the emotion of the people watching it, right? So there's still hope for humanity. Yes. So God's not going to destroy us yet. And the reason he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah is because Lot's couldn't find a single good people, couldn't find anyone left in this whole city. And so he was told to leave and not look back. And everyone that looked back paid the penalty for it.
You really think God's going to bother at this point? I'm pretty sure he's cut us loose. He's written us off. Like, look, I gave you guys.
I don't think he's written us off. And the reason I don't think he's written us off is because we still have goodness. I gave you my son,
and look what you did to that poor guy. So you know what? Good luck.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad. But okay, what was one of the other ones that you guys thought were pretty interesting? Didn't you have one you said you wanted to talk about? Okay, here's one. This one here about the Ukraine money. Go down a little bit about how much money we've been sending to Ukraine.
Hold on.
I think it's another James Woods tweet.
I got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
But I'm just laughing at that because it basically, you sounded just like God did. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's sad.
Funny.
I mean,
many people have made that comment before.
Yeah,
but it's
we're going to keep making it.
No. But the way that this is the character, the way you said it. It's too bad you messed up. I'm coming out of here. Goodbye. What happened?
There's an Earth 2 out there where he learned from all the mistakes. We are the rough draft. Like, all right, clearly, all right, so we're not going to do this again.
Oh, shit, wrong button.
That the whole Sodom thing kind of blew up in me. Look, the flood was a good idea, but clearly I needed to send it more often. There's an Earth 2 out there, and they're doing a lot better than we are. That's the case. God perfected it. Like, all right.
No, but I'm laughing. I swear, we've got to talk about getting a show, just have a picture of God just under the voice. What God thought?
Yeah, I saw this tweet on James Wood's page, and he's very popular on X. And I'll go ahead and read it. It says $700 per household for Americans whose homes were razed during a preventable disaster. People stood in the ocean watching their community disintegrate and their neighbors burn to death. $700 lousy dollars. Good job, big guy. And the bad thing
13 billion to Ukraine. What the hell?
Yeah. So slide down that and see if
a mean person would say elections have consequences. Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is you can't money launder $700 per household.
God. Well, no. If Hawaii.
The thing is that all the money that we've been sending to Ukraine, billions of dollars that we've been sending, even though we don't want to. Most Americans, if we were able to vote on that kind of stuff, I'm sure we would overwhelmingly that money. Maybe some weapons or tanks and things like that, but all this money that we're sending that should be going to our people for disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, floods, homeless people, drug problems. I mean, we've got so much stuff going on in our own country that we should be spending money on to help people, and we're sending it to Ukraine. And I don't know. It's just heartbreaking, because our Americans have been working their asses off, paying taxes and stuff, just like what that song said. And they're just taking it like we're just an open checkbook, just, they'll keep working. They'll do their jobs, and they'll give us their money, and we can just sit it wherever we want.
I mean, hate to break it to you, but America has always been this way. If you want to go, and this is not me defending it, this is me pointing out history. In the First World War, the United States spent an equivalent money, roughly about the same, probably more, that we gave to the Allies, a lot less than Germany during the war. One of the big reasons we entered it was because the amount of money that we had given the British and the French. And if they lost, they would be unable to pay it back. Second World War, same thing. Korean War, same thing. The United States has always bankrolled the underdogs, the Allies, those who are fighting for freedom. The difference is the United States back then was a land of plenty. And you can make the argument to a degree that the United States is today. I would submit to you that is not the case anymore. When you have rampant homelessness, when you have natural disasters that are going, without any kind of addressment, when you're coming, off of in the middle of a bad economy after a year and a half, 2 years of shutting down the entire nation, and you turn around and turn us into a piggy bank where the money cannot be accounted for as to where it went or who's using it. The reason why you can give $700 per household, and only that, is because you can't money launder that. There's no way to get your kickback from that. That's why $113 billion isn't going to rebuild Hawaii, because they don't care. And you don't have to give Hawaii anything if you're Joe Biden. Why would you? Those people are going to vote for you anyways. Yep. That's why he doesn't go there. He didn't go to East Palestine like he said he would, because that's Trump country. He doesn't give a damn. He's not going to Hawaii because they're already going to vote for him. There's a beach in Delaware that desperately needs him to relax on.
See, that's what I'm saying. I said that a while back about Hillary not having to worry about campaigning and going to every state or do rallies or anything, basically because she thought the fix was in. And I knew that the moment I saw her on stage when Podesta went and told her, you didn't win. And you could see the look on her face was pure anger.
Not all candidates go to every state. I mean, Trump's not going to Wyoming because that's blood red country. He's not going to Montana because he doesn't need to.
But he's already done rallies in almost every single state, so he doesn't have to. The people know that if he had to come, he would, and that he has. And see, that's the difference. But I don't know. I just don't know how we're supposed to recover from some of the things that we're seeing over and over again. It's I don't know. It's just heartbreaking to me. Just like you said, that God's looking down and going, well, I tried the best I could, but there's just no saving these people. They're doomed. They doom themselves on a daily basis just simply because of greed or whatever it is. But we already know, well, at least Christians know, that God isn't gonna just quit and let Satan win. I mean, that's why he kicks Satan out of heaven anyways.
The horse he had dragged to water, instead of drinking, we just constantly spit in it.
Yeah. I don't know. Welcome, Bruce.
I'm sorry.
Hope everything's it's okay. So we're glad to have you anyways, even if you're late. It's no big deal. We did talk about Oliver Anthony at the beginning, and we played his video, and we showed the reactions of a lot of YouTubers and how they reacted, and we all talked about it, and the chat talked about it. And basically I wanted to start it with something like that, showing how I still feel that there's hope for our country, because so many people were moved by this young man singing about what's happening to all of us, basically, and how we're all fed up and we've had it. And it's bringing people together because of it. People are really happy to come together to start working and maybe fighting for what we're losing. And then Yeah, we've been sharing a few of sadness about some things that are going on in communities and stuff, just lawlessness basically. And this next one I want to talk about is really sad because it's young children attacking another little child. I think it says this little girl didn't know about racism. That one.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
She was never aware of color before this incident. Because now she has to try to understand why these kids were attacking her when she was trying to share candy with them.
Poor kid.
So, and I want you guys to tell me what you think about it, and whether it's learned behavior they've seen, behavior they've been told to do, or what you think about it, and how can we do anything to stop this type of thing from happening. So go ahead and play the video.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Shut up, man.
Watch me beat up this little kid. Let me see.
Wait, so, oh,
Don't hide and slap her head like this. Do it. Hold on, blue. No. Me? I will.
throw it on the ground.
I bet if those kids were raised in a good environment, we wouldn't have to see this shit.
I
know, but the thing is the first thing I thought, it wasn't that kids were brats. It wasn't that kids were picking on this kid. It was, where's their parents?
Who's videotaping?
Where's their mom? Where's anyone that's supposed to be watching these kids to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen? All kids fight. Okay. I grew up in a family with 4 more sisters, and I'm telling you, it was a cat fight every day because you have all the way growing up, you don't want you to share your stuff, or they're in front of you while you're trying to watch TV, or they won't let you have your music or whatever. There's always a reason why people are going to argue. But when you're a kid, you need discipline. You need parents, babysitters, or teachers, or someone that cares about your safety. When you're outside near a street and somebody's videotaping, but nobody's doing shit. Nobody's trying to help any of the kids.
I'll be right back.
See, that's, to me, is a big problem. Where are the parents? Now, the kid didn't get bloodied or anything like that. Basically, they were just being mean to this other kid. But who do we blame for it? Where are the parents that aren't stepping up to help the children grow up to understand you don't be mean to people, you don't pick on people, you don't hurt people for fun, and the fact that somebody could have drove by at any moment and took one of those kids, things like that. As a parent, that's what I saw when I first saw it. And it was sad that they were picking on that little girl for her candy or whatever the reason it was, but the fact that nobody intervened, that's what broke my heart.
Why do you assume the parent would want them to stop? Why do you assume a parent would tell them not to act this way?
Well, because most parents don't want their children to get hurt. And if it was their kid getting picked on, they would want to do something to stop it. To me, that's
the case a while ago. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think this is the default. I mean, look what we just saw in Philly in the video we just had.
Mm-hmm.
This is a learned behavior. This isn't a lack of parenting. This is parents either encouraging this kind of thing or telling people that it's at least okay to act this way. Like I said before, when there are no consequences, when there are no punishment to act any way you choose, this is what you get.
But what about the other little girl then? The one that was just on her bike in the middle of the street. Where was her mother?
And
that's what I said. That was my comment on that tweet. I was like, where's her mother? Where's the kid's mother? Okay, and is that bad of me? Am I anti-man or anti-feminism or whatever? Because I asked, first thing was, where's her mother? Because that was the first thing that popped in my head, and that was my response to this thing. But I started thinking about it afterward, was like, what can we do as a society in the United States of America to stop this?
Janet, I have a guest over here. He just wanted to say hello.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Bill?
What's his face? Hi.
Hello.
How are you? It's Brooke.
How are you?
Good. Hello. How are you? Been all right.
He's a neighbor of mine.
Lonely.
So no, Brooke's a neighbor of mine, and he's dropping off the pass for Chris tomorrow, so he can park here.
Well, good. Well, hello, Brooke. I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, I love the bunny ears. You got to do that more
thank
often.
you. I didn't know which ones I was going to wear tonight, but I chose not to wear my Mickey Mouse ears.
No,
for one.
Bunny ears suit you more. Okay, you guys take care. Have a good night.
Thank you. You have a good night too.
Y'all have fun tomorrow.
We'll be doing that.
But yeah, that was what it just really when I saw that, it just broke my heart. And it wasn't just the fact that kids being mean to her, them making her hit herself and things like that. Kids do stupid shit like that. I mean, they do. But that's why you have parents. You know, your parents go in there and whip your ass when you're picking on kids, or you're sneaking stuff that you're not supposed to have, or you're playing with knives or scissors or things that are dangerous. That's what parents are for. But it seems to me more and more that we're having less and less parents.
You asked
parents
the right question. Let's go back to
in the stores, in the restaurants, on the streets, in the yards, at the park. I mean, it's like there's non-existent parents.
Yep.
So you asked the question, what can we as United States or as society do about it? I would like to hear all your answers.
My answer?
Well, yeah, I mean, you brought up, it was a great question. I'm curious what your thoughts
Well, my
are.
answer is that we need to make parents be responsible for their kids. I mean, that's why we have so many children that are missing. The child trafficking, our country is the #1 country in the world for child trafficking. And this is one of the reasons why, because we leave our children unattended. We leave them at parks. We let them walk down the street to their neighbor's house without anyone watching to see where they're going. That's, to me, it's the parents are irresponsible. They shouldn't decide to have a child if they're not going to take care of it. A child is a child. They're incapable of understanding the dangers out there. As an adult, a lot of adults don't even realize the dangers that are out there. So why are you having kids? You know, that type of thing. So I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of.
Ruben, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to give you kind of a shocking answer. I've been thinking about this for a long time because I've always seen this about to happen. And when I was first, young man, basically starting my life, I said, get married, have a family, and, raise a good family. So those things didn't happen to me because my wife passed away, and I've been but now with the fact that I have begun to live again, I have decided that the best way to make a difference is to remarry and have a family, and then be part of a community that makes a difference. Because again, sitting here and complaining about it, or going to a board meeting, or trying to do some legislation, that's one avenue, but it's not the only avenue. You have to have a legacy, and basically there has to be a resurgence of people that believe in good family values. I'm a classical liberal. I'm classically liberal. So that's the thing. But I'm a constitutionalist too. And the law is the law. But again, we have that public-private partnership with the government, the military-industrial complex that are destroying everything. So we need to start rebuilding the communities one person at a time. Yes, go be more involved. Know what you're voting for in your community, but also start a community. Start searching out people that are not part of the hookup culture. Don't do TikTok, don't all this crap, but believe in your values. And that's going to be more evident because again, every news article that they went after Oliver Anthony. And that tells you right away, why are they going after this man? He's a song. And you see the reaction of the common person, and you see the reaction of what news is doing. That's the divide. So if you basically we're going to start like FNT had made some, a couple weeks ago made a comment, and it's true, where you end up having like, Russell Brand, Tucker Carlson, all agreeing on everything, like people that strange bedfellows coming together going, why are we here now? We're the ones that you were called a racist. You were called a racist. We're called, alt right. We're all being like, they're ganging up on it. And we find out that no, we're the normal ones.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that what you were talking about morals and stuff. Well, I'm on TikTok. Okay. And I'm on YouTube and I do make videos, but, I do have, boundaries. Okay?
Yes, you have standards.
And the thing is, though, is that because other people make fun of me because of it, which is fine, but I still do what I think is right. Like on my YouTube channel, I have stuff for 18 and older, and it's not because I do nudity or I do anything besides maybe a little cleavage. It's innuendos. I have innuendos on that I would be embarrassed if I found out a 12-year-old or 13-year-old kid watched my video, because I care enough about that I put limits on what people are allowed to see and what I say. So I do stop. I have a boundary that I won't pass. I won't do an OnlyFans. I won't do anything. I even told Bruce when we did our movie reviews, the only thing I won't do is I won't review porn. To me, that I don't think is morally right. And I wasn't worried that much about it because I don't think Bruce is that way either. I don't think Bruce would even do it. I don't think Bruce would want to do a porn review in his parents.
Eventually, I think if you keep saying the P word, you're going to keep skipping out, because when you drop the word porn, your internet hiccups. It's like your NSA guy really hates you.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. But the thing is,
anybody else seeing this shit? Because she'll say,
"No, you're right. It has."
Maybe
okay.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to get a point across that it's up to us. Okay, It's still, to me, I believe it's up to us. It's up to you and me, and us setting quality standards for ourselves. Like, you have limits to what you would do on your channel, Ruben, and Emperor, hopefully he would have rules and stopping points on his, and Bruce does too.
Clearly,
we
you've never
do
listened
certain
to my
things.
show.
But like Bruce, he says, you shouldn't be watching my channel if you're a kid,
It's
and
on
he
the
does
front
that.
fucking page of YouTube.
Yeah. That's right. But the thing is that we all care enough about our content to make sure that people know, setting your things for not for anyone under a certain age, things like that. We have limits, but then there's other people that don't. And that's
your contribution to the good of society is not to have an OnlyFans. I applaud you.
Well, I get asked that all the time though, because but to me, I'm just a speck, and I'm just a speck in that giant ocean of tons and tons of women. I mean, there's millions of women that all can be on OnlyFans and make some guy happy because she's jiggling her boobs for him. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be me. They can do without. I mean, I don't think I making that much difference because I'm not on there. But I know I'm not going to do it. That's just my choice. You know what I mean? And if I ever get that hard up for money, I'll just go get a job work at the chicken plant.
But that goes to my point.
Right now, there is a hooker staring up at my apartment building, and she's going, if it gets much worse, I'm going to have to move into Bruce's apartment building, and I'm going to have to do anal. And that's the truth. She's going to have to let that back pussy, get some action. And the thing, there's people that live in other places that look at my apartment complex like, why do you live there? I'm like, well, it's kind of the crime itself. It filters out the crap. Like the wannabe thugs. No, we don't have the really wannabe thugs. We have the up and coming. We'll actually do something for credit or whatever, and that's great. Because it keeps out the junky ones And the ones that I don't want to have to deal with, like, why did you vandalize my car? Was there anything in my car worth value?
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like that. But there, you know, the thing is that if we really want to do quote unquote adult work, it's not hard for us to figure out how to do it. But the thing is that there's like you have to be able to stare at yourself after you film whatever you're filming. And you know, I really don't want to ever have to be like, remember all those things you never said you said would never happen, like I'll never have butt sex. And you know, I don't want to have to wake up one of these days and look in the mirror and be like, well, you had butt sex. I guess we could like just fling ourselves off the balcony if life gets much worse. No, I'm good. I'm not having butt sex. I'm not doing stupid things. I'm on YouTube with my friends. I make bad jokes. I have dad humor.
All right, so Bruce's solution to improving the nation is not to do anal sex on camera. Got it. All right,
I don't ever like. That's what I know. Like that's what I know. Like the depression has fully kicked in. I guess the only thing left for me to do is suicide and anal, not in that order, or maybe in that order. I don't know. I think you know, like most of us, we have things we're willing to do. And there's like a list of things longer and longer as I keep reading like the death reports and the insurance reports at my job of things I'm unwilling to do. Because I get to read the humor pages, as I call it, where people will be doing stupid stuff behind the wheel and they end up in the forever box. It's great. I'll have to put some of those pages home from work one of these days, and I'll read them on a Friday night, and you guys can decide if it belongs here. It probably does not. If you enjoy the Darwin Awards, I'll do it.
Oh,
but
God.
I read the Forever Box reports, and like I'm getting a longer list of things I'm just not going to do because that's a good idea.
You should do that. You should basically like have a. Can you do polls on this show or no?
I don't know. I don't know how to do any of that stuff yet. I'm just learning.
Yeah, but the whole idea that
Janet,
Bruce,
right,
but
Janet,
what?
Open up another tab to your YouTube page and mute it on your YouTube on that page that you open for YouTube, and there should be options for you to do polls. If you don't want to learn now, I'll start up a faux stream after this.
Can you do it tomorrow while we're playing DD and you can set a poll up and then show me how to do it?
Sure.
Okay. But what I was going to say is like, that reminded me of a joke to what you guys were saying. It's called the 3 stages of sex in marriage.
Okay.
The first stage is when you're first married and you're newlyweds and you just have sex all over the house, in the kitchen, the living room, in the hallway, the bathroom, right? And then you have the second stage, and that's when you have children. So now you have to be, quiet and have sex in the bedroom with the doors closed where the kids won't see you. And then you have the third stage of sex in marriage is when you pass each other in the hallway and you say, "Fuck you." Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That popped in my head.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's kind of a real thing, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm in that stage, this one. But
so sorry.
Oh well. I think many people have been there. So I understand that a lot of people probably understand it, but it's a good joke. It really is funny. But that's one of the jokes that I've told on my channel in the 18 and older, just little things like that. But now I've ruined it because, hopefully no one is going to be up this late watching the shit show when they're underage.
All the little Japanese kids that love their Janet and their plant porn,
Oh.
No, they'll just watch and review tomorrow.
Oh, well. I broke one of my rules just now. But okay, let's go to another one of the deals on here. Let's see. What was one of the other ones? Okay, here's some good news.
Good to see you guys.
I'm glad you got to see us.
Which one?
Good to see you. Glad you were able to make it.
Let's do the one about the Maui Emergency Services chief resigns, and then we can do the other one about the money or whatever, the insurance one.
There he is.
Either one of those.
I got
think
one.
would be good. and talk about that because I think a lot of people are talking about the stuff going on over there in Hawaii. I think it's a really hot topic right now on X because of it.
Hot.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody would get that or not, but oh well. I'm not trying to be too
People in
mean.
Hawaii got it. Oh, they did.
Oh God.
I've been seeing a lot of tweets about like
He's on fire,
lasers
folks. She's
from
burning
the
down the house.
sky starting the fire and all this kind of stuff. But this was one of the things because I think it's great because a lot of people think this guy or this person didn't do their job, and a lot of people died because of it. So the fact that this person is no longer going to be there. But can we play news articles, Bruce, without getting in trouble?
Pause it about every 15 seconds. That way we can have discuss.
I'll do that.
Fair use.
Okay.
I'll do it for you.
Go ahead. I can barely hear it.
Alter the volume if you can.
I did. It's all the way up. Yeah.
Okay.
My thoughts and prayers continue to be with all of those who have been impacted by this tragedy. We too, within our extended Mima family.
Yeah, I'm just saying it.
Well, basically, he's talking about that he didn't do the job by setting the sirens off,
right,
and warning people so that they could get away before the fire burned through their homes. So
you would think the smoke in the air would have been a good indicator too, but
well, you got to remember they had really, really high winds, straight line winds, and that's what supposedly started the fire when the poles fell because of it, and started electrical fire and started the grass on fire because it's been so dry. And then when you had those winds pushing it, it's sending embers and pushing the fire along in a certain direction. And from what I was told by a few people that live in Hawaii, they said that the poles start to burn, not the trees, because the trees' outer parts would burn a little bit and some of the leaves, but because they were filled with sap and the fire was moving so quickly, it didn't sit on the tree. You know what I mean? But the poles that are soaked in oils, right, when they put those telephone poles up, those caught on fire. And then you have all the what do you call it? The plastics and stuff around all the cables, and it follows those along into the houses, into the attics, and those are combustible and burst into flames.
Go ahead.
So, it's devastating. And then you had a lot of kids that were in their homes waiting for mom and dad to come home from work.
It's so weird, the fact that
it is weird. All of it's weird.
It was like setting matches up around the whole place.
It was just
keeping
devastating.
wire, everything. They didn't just.
And then they were saying that the embers blew over to the boats and stuff because people had their boats tied up right to the shore on docks or buoys or whatever is close to people could get into them, and the ropes burned, and then the boat's burning, and they're floating off, and they're burning up. So, and then the people are running from their homes, and they can either go straight up the mountain or they're going to run towards the water.
What's the significance of this place? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but
point out that two of the most liberal places in the world are in this country, who believe the government is the answer for everything, and I pray for these people. One of them had a once-in-a-lifetime wildfire where the government's doing nothing, and the other one's about to have God sending a much-needed bath because Los Angeles and San Diego are about to be hit by a hurricane for the first time since 18.
Yeah, Hurricane Hillary.
And those people panic when it rains. What do you think they're going to do when the storm hits?
Martial law.
And they have no answer for these things.
But the fact that it's called Hillary, what do you guys think of that?
Dude, no.
I mean, how can it possibly be Hillary? I mean, does anybody think that's ironic?
LA will burn down. LA's going to burn. Because again,
well, I don't know what's going to happen, but
no.
The whole thing is funny in a way.
If it hits and goes through, it's destroyed. But then aftermath of all the looting, all the corruption, everything going wrong, it's going to burn.
Supposedly, it's going to hit as a tropical storm. But again, California is primarily a desert. These are people who crash into things when it rains a little bit. Now you're talking 10, 15, 20 inches of rain. You have a government down there who's not very good with disaster responses. Now you have this, something that no one's had to deal with in going on 180 years. Plus what's happening in Hawaii. If you want an example, I guess, and this is not me trying to pile on to people who are facing, the worst disaster of their lives or are about to. Careful who you put your trust and faith into. Because as people in Hawaii are finding out, the people that they continue to put in office aren't coming to help them, either because they can't, they don't care, or more likely, they have their own agenda where they come out ahead by not helping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If
Did you
that's
read
true,
that?
Rock, then they're going to have a lot of four-wheel boats. And there's
I'm looking forward to this because there's a lot of Teslas over there. I want to see.
Teslas.
I want to see the Sparky.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because that's what another post says, that they're driving their electric cars into the water. So it's going to be interesting to watch. But the fact that I still can't get over the fact that it's called Hillary. I'm shocked.
And all the memes disaster than Hillary, I can't.
Well, the thing is, all the memes I'm seeing with Hillary's face on it.
Yeah.
Of a storm. So it's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen.
How
but
base would they be
I
if
don't
they follow up?
We should know by tomorrow, right? Would we find out tomorrow when it's supposed to come on land?
We should be having a better plan by tomorrow. Yes, Janet. I'm thinking that if it actually gets to be newsworthy, while we have one of our mini doggy poo-poo breaks, while the dogs are outside, we will discuss the impending watery doom for all of the coastal elites of California, which I will probably have a couple drinks to, because God, it will feel good. My bad. I know you're not supposed to revel in your enemy's destruction, but fuck, it feels so good.
We're going to be playing DD, right?
Yep.
Is it going to be coming inshore while we're playing?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at AccuWeather yet.
Okay, well, we need to find out, because if it is, then we can all do a toast and do a shot or something on the show tomorrow.
On international television that you're going to toast the destruction of people in California?
No, we're going to toast it.
Yes.
We're going to toast the fact that it's named Hillary, and she's going to do destruction, not us.
According
to Hillary.
Right now, it's tracking to hit
LA?
like San Diego San Diego first, of course, and then LA Sunday night, 5 p.m.
It's not a question of if it's going to hit.
5 or
it's
6.
A question of how strong when it gets there. My guess is it will not be a hurricane by the time it gets there.
No, basically it's a tropical depression, because again, it's gonna graze.
Still a lot of water.
Mexico. Well, it's the same thing though, right? When the hurricane would come over us in the Gulf, right? And as soon as it would make land, it would start to slow down, but it would spawn gobs of tornadoes. So will it do the same thing when it goes on shore?
A water issue, not a wind issue.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to change the atmosphere fairly hard for the tornadoes to spawn off of that, Janet. Damn it.
That's not to say it won't, but it's going to be a rain issue more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. You don't think it's going to have that many winds? How would it be different?
Well, if it's a depression or
it's catastrophic.
Time it hits, that's
catastrophic flooding expected. Catastrophic.
Right. I mean, we get stronger straight line winds here, in Northeast Ohio when we just had 70-mile-an-hour windstorms last week. In fact, I lost my power right before the show went on the air last week because we had tornadoes all around the area. California is a pretty mountainous area, even along the coast. So it's kind of difficult for that kind of place to have those kinds of winds. It's going to be a rain issue.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see tornadoes.
And you don't think they're not prepared for lots of flooding? They don't have lots of canals
of rain?
No. Like New Orleans?
These people panic when they see a cloud.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, think really, Californians are a lot like Texans.
They don't get rain. Florida rains every single day almost.
California is a desert location. It primarily, the only reason it looks the way it does is because we as humans have, with the technology we have greatly altered the way things look, especially with the Colorado River. If nothing else, that's one benefit you're going to see. It's a place that has perennial droughts, is going to get a lot of water, and on the back end, that may actually help down the road.
True.
You will see a lot of mudslides, which they have a big problem with.
There'll be a lot of those.
The wildfire season might not be as bad next time around, at least for a year.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of wide-ranging effects. And again, it hasn't happened since the 1850s. So you don't have a whole lot of historical examples to go back on to at least give you
Yeah,
an
because
idea.
I was going. I've never heard ever of any hurricane ever coming on shore.
Nope.
So I was like, "What's going on?" And it's named Hillary.
But
I can't get over the fact that it's going to be called Hillary. Just really.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have struck that name from the record.
We're in an El Nino now. I thought so.
We are. Like as I said, how base would it be if they choose Hurricane Joe for the Jays when we get there? Then you got to start wondering, like, all right, somebody at the Hurricane Weather Center is clearly right wing.
Or even if it was called Brandon. Hurricane Brandon.
But that would have been hilarious.
Funny.
Yeah. So there was a few names it could have been, but it just the fact that it's Hillary is shocking. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm hoping out for Michelle. There's going to be a Michelle. You watch.
With a big stick.
Now that's not nice.
I know. That was terrible. I can't believe it.
Roll quarters.
But yeah.
Don't be
rolling quarters. But there was another one on there about the insurance. Supposedly, they're saying the rezoning of the land or something like that, that it's going to change what the people can get for their land or something. I was trying to find that one real quick.
Well, I wouldn't imagine it's worth the same amount when everything's burned to the ground.
Well, I
There's
can understand
people
that.
getting phone calls now in Hawaii that have lived there for generations, and
Mhm.
their ohanas are, like everybody, it might still be alive, but now the vultures are circling like, hey, do you want to sell the property that just burned up to a crisp? We'll be willing to pay you top dollar for it, and give them like 20 cents on the dollar tops. And I see that's going on quite a bit.
But did you see that one? That Twitter, it's a Twitter tweet or X tweet or X post or whatever.
It's
and
quick.
it said, and it says Illumabot status or whatever on there. And it says the people have zoning infractions. Did you see that one?
No, not yet.
So can Ruben, can you put that up there for me?
Let me see which one.
I don't have a private chat, by the way.
Oh, you don't?
No, my private chat's blank.
Georgia.
It's good.
Oh, that's right. You don't have it. It's all right.
Scamming one.
Ruben can do it. Yeah, the one it says it's the last four numbers was 4657.
I got it. That's the one.
The tweet, that one. That was the one I wanted to do after we talked about the other storm in California, and then the other thing for Hawaii about the guy resigning because he didn't do a good job to save people's lives.
I mean, we have to have somebody fall on their sword after all of this.
Yeah, but it's just sad that people always have to die and suffer before somebody says or does anything, because nobody knows what they're supposed to do in the first place. I think we can play this guy's tweet and not have to worry about it. But hopefully you can make sure it's turned up.
I have turned all the way up.
Okay.
Not that long ago, Hawaiian government officials in the areas that were just affected by the wildfires passed a law saying that land could not be redistricted for new building permits unless some sort or some type of a serious natural disaster occurred. Serious natural disaster occurred. Mm-hmm. And what did we have happen through those 3 districts of very sacred land to the Hawaiians? A very serious natural disaster. I'm not going to get into space lasers and all of that shit, but people called their insurance companies after the fire, and the insurance companies, for the first time, informed them that there was zoning infractions on their land, so they would not honor their insurance policies. And within 24 hours of these people losing their homes, the same developers who the Hawaiian elders fought in court to have that law passed are already calling these people and making them offers for their homes. This is what happens when the government sticks their fingers in everything. The government's in the insurance industry. They're talking to people who are paying for their campaigns, which are the buyers of this land. And they say to these people, hey, let us know when they call you to get their insurance claims, and let us know when you deny them, so we can then give them a call right away and scoop in and swoop in and be the heroes. So they're going to get this land that they're going to develop into millions of dollars worth of property, and the Hawaiian elders are going to get fuck all. They're going to get screwed over. And this happens everywhere. There's too many coincidences for this not to be shady. Wake up.
Jesus.
I haven't been able to find confirmation of this anywhere. Other than this tweet, I have not seen this said anywhere.
So that was a tweet, but it was shared off of TikTok.
Right. My point is I have not been able to confirm any of this outside of what this guy or a couple people on social media have said. Which
well, I have heard a couple of reports on the news of interviews of people who received the phone calls.
Oh, I believe that that there are companies out there who are looking to swoop in, but I think to me this is a difference between corporate opportunism versus, deep state cabal planning to start a wildfire and then swoop in and say, "Oh, zoning infraction."
Yeah, I'm not saying that. All I can tell you is what I told you earlier when we were talking about it, is that people I know that live there that said what happened, and that it was a pole that got knocked over by a gas station that first sparked it. The firemen went there. They thought they had it put out, but the winds were so high and stuff, they think that it started back up again. And then that's how it got worse. But the fact that nobody did any sirens or anything like that when it got really big to get people out of there. Because when you're sitting in your house, like where I'm at now, and the sirens go off, I can hear them in my home when that telling me that there's a tornado or something.
I heard them last week. Okay,
so if they had done the sirens, how many people could have been saved? We don't know, and we were never going to know. But they failed. Okay, they failed the people. So I don't believe that it was an intentional fire. I really don't. Not from everything that I've heard from actual people that are from there, that live there. But I do believe that the whole thing was handled really badly after it.
I think you're right in that, and that it was handled very poorly, and probably because, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't expect wildfires to be something the Hawaiians see on a regular basis.
No, I don't.
But
think
I
so
think
either.
that's the problem. Is so many conspiracy theories in the last few years have come true that now everybody jumps right to the conclusion. No, this is all part of the
well,
plan.
they do anyways. I haven't seen a single thing where everyone doesn't all of a sudden have conspiracy theory about it. I mean, I don't care what it is. Since I was old enough to even know what a conspiracy theory was, people have had them. The flat Earth.
But
we never went to the moon.
Spread
all these things.
Conspiracy theories just mean the corner.
About the president being assassinated, everything. They're always going to be conspiracy theories. That's just what people do.
Remember the movie with Mel Gibson, Conspiracy Theory? And that was some crackpot guy who was printing out, flyers and handing them out to weirdos out in the park. Okay, that guy today has 1 million followers on Twitter, has his own YouTube channel, and it's going on Alex Jones every other week. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, but who would have known? I mean, when our grandparents were young, that there would be this, that we'd be able to sit and have people from 4 different states sitting and talking and having conversations where other people could watch and listen to us talk and ask questions and stuff. You know what I mean? I never would have thought of it. I mean, who would have ever thought of that? But it's happening, and who knows where we'll be in 50 years from now, the technology wise. So,
wow, you are a
really
awesome
bodysuits
girl that you think we're going to have something here in 50 years. Good for you. That's a positive outlook.
Well, I do believe there'll be more. There'll be something. I just don't know what there'll be.
I'm expecting another flood.
You are?
Yeah, the way things are going, yes. Noah version 2.0. Look, if some guy started building a giant boat in his backyard, Today, it's like the aliens. Like no one would try. Like, yeah, that probably makes sense. Better start collecting 2 of every animal. Start emptying the zoos. No one would bat an eye. Nobody.
That's why I'm really losing weight. I'm losing weight so I can live a life and then go run away and go somewhere and rebuild society, basically.
Well, so you definitely want to end up on a desert island with some woman. The only bad thing about that is, I remember
not really desert island.
How romantic that would be to be stranded on a desert island with the one person you want to be with.
Weren't you
and
the
then
one
you
just
think
saying
about
that
it?
eventually get to the point where you walk each other, you're going to pass each other by the palm tree in the island, say "fuck you" and keep walking?
No, but what I mean is, I started thinking as a woman, like having to have a baby by yourself, with
Like
no
Blue Lagoon?
no
Remember that movie?
medicine or anything
no.
to numb you up, or none of that stuff. That would be horrible. But other countries, women have babies naturally all the time. So,
Man, you're
I
cooking
don't know.
coconuts
I'm
again
thankful that
every night
I'm
with you
not
with
on a
coconuts.
desert island.
Just once, Brenda. I'd like something other than coconuts and fish. It's all you ever cook. My God, if I had known that, I would have been ruined with Jill. At least she knew how to cook up lobster.
Yeah, and you know what I'd say? I'd say, well, get off of your ass and go out and get some crab or something.
What more firewood?
For
I've
us to
cooked down
eat.
every tree on the island. Where do you want me to get firewood?
Yeah.
I'll build you a sandcastle. You want a sandcastle, princess? There's your sandcastle. There you are, you warship.
There you go.
Oh, yeah,
That's it, though. Hey, see, I don't know. It just depends on the person, but I think that somebody could be very happy on a desert island.
I would spell out on the beach, like, take her, leave me, with like rocks, a plane flying over.
And your luck, the plane would crash on the island. So,
With my luck, would crash on me.
For me, if it was an island in the middle of a lake, somewhere quiet, something small, you could put a house on there, and you can have a boat.
But so you can still leave if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
How that would happen.
It hit my head right now.
But there's another one. Did you guys read the one that I posted in our DM chat about the exclusive nationwide cellular network connections with the election? So that's a good one. Let's click on that one. Let's talk about that. That was pretty good. But that's going back to the same thing about, was it stolen?
Is that
move on to the Hawaii? I bring up one.
Or did Biden actually get all those votes?
Before we move on to that, can I bring up, since we're on Maui, can I bring up the Maui?
Yeah, go ahead.
On Fox? Okay. There's a Maui company that's now making the claim. Fox has it on their front page. It says that the request for water to fight the wildlife was delayed hours because the state had to consult with the farmers first. We talk about government malfeasance or the fact that they're capable of adjusting on the fly to situations on the ground. I think it's even worse than, not blowing the sirens because they didn't know whether they should do that. Not using water to put out a forest fire or a wildfire because of what the farmers may need. What the fuck are the farmers going to need water for when their crops are burned down along with everything else? And yet, that's the claim that they're making, that the reason that they were slow to react, quote, we followed the process. The process failed us. Glenn Trimble, an executive West Maui Land Corporation, told Hawaii Public Radio in an emailed statement. This is what I was looking for, as some kind of, and you're going to see more of this as time goes on, as someone's going to have to investigate this. But there's an issue because of water equity on the island. And that's why they had to consult with people. Is it okay if we borrow the water we had that we were going to earmark for you? Is it okay if we go out and put out the fires? Some people are losing their homes.
But they're surrounded by water. Why can't the plane just go out or the helicopter go out and pick up ocean water? A fire doesn't know whether it has salt in it, does it?
Well, then you're literally salting in the earth. And that is a issue of a different kind. We didn't want to turn Maui into.
I know, but do you think that's what they were worried about using salt water on their land? They might not be able to grow crops later on. Is that what you think they were worried about?
That very well may be a legitimate issue. I don't know. What I do know is they had plenty of fresh water available. They just didn't use it.
Right.
They needed permission, and by the time they got around to using it, things were out of control.
So is
Someone needs
that
to
why
swing for that
they had
one.
to consult the farmers then?
Yes.
Because they were worried about the land not being able to grow the pineapples or whatever it is that they were going to grow there. So that's kind of sad, that whole thing. And then there was a tree in the middle somewhere, this tree that's over 100 years old, and it was a sacred tree or something. They were worried about it getting burned down. So I think it lived. I don't know how much it got burned or not. But, that's, the whole thing is just really sad to me that so many people, and they're having to use DNA speed tests on the bodies that they've been able to find using dogs to help them find the cadaver, the burned up bodies. So, and it's just really sad. The whole thing is just sad because so many people failed, just like what happened in Katrina. You had people leaving their posts. They didn't open all the levees. So it flooded really, really worse than they thought it would, because the people abandoned their posts, and people left the nursing homes and left people in their beds and stuff and let it flood. I mean, that's just people not caring. There's no compassion. They go, oh, screw them. I don't care if it floods. I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. They just abandoned their posts and left.
And to me, that's worse because they knew that was coming. No one knew that this wildfire was going to spring up and happen. Katrina has no excuse. They knew weeks in advance that was coming.
Yeah. But just like you said, these people didn't let the sirens, they didn't let the sirens go off. I mean, even if the fire wasn't very big, okay, let's say they got it put out halfway, halfway from where it burnt, all right? That was still people still losing their homes. Was it 2, 3, 4 homes worth putting a siren on? See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, why does it have to be a humongous disaster before anybody cares about someone else's property? You see, it's just like those kids tearing up the cars and things like that. Why does it have to be so far over the top before anybody else goes, oh, well, we better do something because people are going to lose their homes. They might lose lives or whatever. I guess maybe we should turn on a siren.
I'm sure they've got insurance.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It's just, to me, that I already admit that when that one argument that we got in the DM about us fighting over the someone dying, because I said that I would die because I would end up going there and trying to save that person. Remember, we were talking about something that was happening, and everybody was saying, no, the woman that was on the ground during the fires when they were trying to escape. And I said that I would pull over and I would drag that woman's body into my car before I left her laying there, because they didn't know if she was dead. No one got out of their car to see if she was.
I would use her as
and I said, well, then I would probably died then, because that would have been my fate, is because I would have died trying to help someone else. Could just drive by, and I would never be able to, because I would see that woman every single night the rest of my life in my head. So to me, maybe I should be dead if I should be dead if I was going to try to save her. But other people said I would have to punch you in the face and knock you unconscious, because you would just kill me and everyone else in the car by making me stop to try to save someone. And I saw how bad it was. I saw the fires blowing across there. It was a huge tornado of fire. That's all it was in the video. And I could see why people were panicking and stuff. But still, I know me. I'm telling you, I would have stopped.
That's a different moral conundrum. If you wish to risk your own life for another, that is your choice. If you have people in the car with you and you're the one driving and you decide to stop, you're making a life or death choice for other people. Now that's a different.
I know. That's what the argument was about. But see, the thing is, it's good to talk about this kind of stuff, because one day we might end up in that disaster. That's right. Don't let me drive. Don't let me drive. But I'm honest about it. I'm honest about my feelings.
Chaser ever.
That's me. Don't let me drive. Make me sit in the back seat.
Oh, make her sit in the back seat in the middle on the hump, because I do not want to stop the car If there's already 6 people in a 5-person car, we're not stopping for number 7. I'm sorry.
I know.
She in my head, she's already passed. You guys might need to have like alcohol or medications. I'll turn a fan on and sleep at night. I'm sorry if that sounds rough.
No, you're not the only one. That's why I'm saying
I
that's why
agree.
it's good to have these discussions, because if you don't talk about it, you won't know what to expect the next time. You know
This
what
is
I
a good
mean?
example of how a woman looks at something and how a man looks at something. This is very, very interesting to me. This is a great
But
thing.
I don't feel bad that that's the way I think.
Well, I'm
you
not
know,
saying you should. I'm just saying it's an interesting divide. That's all.
No, and I understand it. And you were right. But my sister Sandy said the exact same thing as you guys. Fuck them. I'm driving through.
I would stop.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's very, most people that I've talked to all said the same thing as you guys. They just keep driving.
I wouldn't.
So
I would deliberately run her over just to make sure that she didn't suffer being burned. Because I'm that kind of guy, Janet. I'm looking out for her.
If
I've
got the clearance on the vehicle, yes. I'm not going to scrape my Civic.
I don't want her to suffer. It's a bit of
well,
work.
the thing is,
I got insurance. That's fine.
The thing is that
maybe I drag her with
had
me.
the discussion.
Maybe I
because a lot of people don't want to talk about stuff like that. You know, they don't. That's like me sitting and trying to talk about writing my will with people, and people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about that right now. But see, that's why a lot of people don't have wills, because they don't want to discuss.
Oh, my will's fun. Oh no, I leave stuff to people like, okay, between Scott and Jerry, you two have to have a fist fight. Winner gets the car. My children, which one do I love the most? Well, that depends. Which one is going to pony up the most for my monument?
But you know what? There's apps. You can get an app on your phone right now to write your will, and it'll be on your phone for you, and everything will be set out about.
As long as my phone doesn't go with me when I die, yeah.
Well,
the water,
no, it'll be on the app.
What he wanted.
It would be in the app online so that anyone else could go and look at it, because you can set it up.
Go visit Grandpa at the funeral store for free Wi-Fi. He has his phone plugged in.
They're looking for 30 days for his password. We still can't find it. Damn him.
Can't find the password.
Janet, I put some news articles in the private chat for you.
Okay.
The one that I do want us to cover is the one that made me dance earlier this week. And yeah, like there are some people there saying you're not supposed to revel in the deaths of people of others.
So which one is it?
It's the one where the one IRS agent shoots another IRS agent.
Okay, I'm looking
at a gun.
You see it, Ruben?
I see it. Yeah, I found it's the first one. It's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the very first one you posted, the American Military News.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and do that one. We'll talk about it, because I'd like for you guys to pick articles too. It's not just be me, because I like to have the versatile things going on. But so let's let you want to read it, Bruce, since it's yours.
Scroll down. Go ahead and scroll down. An Internal Revenue Service agent was fatally shot on Thursday by another IRS agent during a training exercise in Arizona, officials said. The shooting was reportedly an accident. Now, fun fact, last year, there were 49 shootings, and 26 of these 49 shootings in the IRS were negligent discharges. Just fun fact, look up 2022 IRS negligent discharge rates. There's more negligent discharges than actual proper discharges of firearms. But I'll continue. Charlotte M. Dennis, a spokesperson for the Phoenix field office of the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, told CBS 5 the incident involved IRS special agents. The injured agent was transported to Honor Health Deer Valley Medical Center, where the agent later died. Our concern today is for the agent and their family, Dennis said. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the deadly shooting took place at the Federal Correctional Institution Phoenix firing range, where multiple federal agencies were working at the time, Fox News reported. How were they working? Well, what they were doing is they were having rifle training drills For those of you that don't know what rifle training is versus pistol training, rifle training is an excess of range. Think of it this way. These IRS agents are learning how to supposedly fire their weapons downrange and not have to endanger themselves by potentially doing urban breach and clear operations that are typically seen on pistol ranges. Okay, I'll continue. So, the FBI's Phoenix field office is investigating the shooting. The FBI's investigation will be methodical and thorough to address every element of the incident. An emailed statement said, those findings, scroll down, please. Those findings will be then turned over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Arizona, for review. A job posting on the IRS's website shows the agency is hiring armed special agents who are willing to use deadly force and conduct surveillance in all 50 states and U.S. territories. Their special agents will be part of the CID, described as the agency's law enforcement branch, which is designed to combine accounting skills with law enforcement skills to investigate financial crimes. These do not look like white-collar criminal hunters. These look like guys going out to Robbie Ridge. The major duties of the job include a willingness to participate in dangerous assignments and life-threatening situations. Yes, obviously, because of poor tactical discipline, an IRS agent is dead at the hands of another on a gun range where they were supposed to be practicing long-range firing drills. Carrying a firearm must be prepared to protect him or herself from others from physical attacks at any time and without warning, and use firearms in life-threatening situations. Must be willing to use force up to and including the deadly use of force. Well, that's the only type of force. The IRS website's jobs description states,
Oh my God.
USAjobs.gov expands on the jobs duties, which includes conducting or participating in surveillance, armed escorts, dignitary protection, undercover operations, execution of search and arrest warrants, seizures, etc.
Gosh, that's insane.
This is the white collar crimes unit people. These guys are learning how to be Johnny G.I. Joe.
And apparently very well. They killed the guy.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. If we could just have 15,000 more practice days like today this year, I would be happy with the loss of life in the IRS Agents Field Division. Fuck you,
that's
IRS.
mean.
That's Bruce Lombardo said, "Fuck the IRS."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Okay, well, I said that too. I just didn't want them to die. I just wanted them to be unemployed.
They chose
Oh
this life.
my God.
They chose it. They said, yes, I want to be a socialist.
I didn't choose the tax life. The tax life chose me.
Yeah, the brown shirts, I'm sure the brown shirts came a calling.
I don't think the brown shirts were IRS agents, though. I don't think Hitler rolled up into the tax revenue. I need the best armed you have. Give me your agents. You
No,
with
I
the
don't
calculator. Come.
Give
We
me
have
these
Jews
guys.
to hunt down.
How come you're so good at that accent?
Never
That's
mind.
kind of scary.
Why we cannot do something right at this rifle range?
Okay, what's the next one you want to read?
I just wanted that one to be the main one I wanted to share. I've got some others that I threw up in there as well, but you guys can go ahead and read them because I've looked at them and they're things that we've already probably discussed. Also,
Yeah,
did you
when I'm-
like my Limbaugh impersonation? Sorry. Well, no, it's not really a good impersonation of Limbaugh. It's because he's kind of full of worms right now, and I'm sorry about that. I love Rush, but I like reading news stories like Rush Limbaugh used to.
Yeah.
No, we don't have a replacement for these. I was just talking to a close friend of mine the other day about the legends in broadcasting that we lost in the last few years. I mean, we lost a couple here in Cleveland. Rush is a good example. Michael Parkinson.
Paul Harvey died in 17?
And there's nobody to replace those. Like, the Larry Kings and the Walter Cronkites and the people who used to have these epic interviews or people that would, be the center of the news and there's no replacement. There's nobody coming up. And I said it to you, the closest thing to Larry King we have today would be like a Joe Rogan. If you think about
But
it,
that isn't that because radio is not that popular
it's
anymore,
not
is
just
it?
radio; it's any kind of broadcast.
I disagree so hard on that, Janet.
What do you
Radio
mean?
has metastasized so much on the podcast and streaming format.
Absolutely.
Because the broadcast, the mainstream media has absolutely ignored talk radio and the AM radio roots. They've ignored the majority of the willing audience by going with their mainstream beliefs front and center. Okay. And so what talk radio is and what Rush Limbaugh did in the 80s has morphed. And we have that still. I mean, if you have a ham radio, you will hear some of the most interesting stuff that will not get rebroadcast at all. And you're going to hear stuff that could be backed up verifiably only by trips to the dark web on a ham radio. I'm just saying that. Now, I'm saying that not in a just trust me, bro sort of way, but ham radio is a different animal with a completely different group of people operating those, and that's an aging demographic. But the new demographic, the youth out there, the guys that are, and I hate to say this for the youth, but the guys that are 55 years and younger had Rush Limbaugh blasting on their AM radios in 86, 88. They're guys out of Sacramento, and they're guys that heard him when he first hit the big time in syndication, and they want to be just like him. There was something that was magical Limbaugh did, and he paved the way for the AM radio revolution of the 90s when you had guys like G. Gordon Liddy and Paul Harvey had a resurgence in his career, and he damn near became a pop star because of the things that had been said, and they were repeating on syndicated radio networks.
Was Paul Harvey the one that said the rest of the story?
Good day.
And now you know the rest of the story. Yep.
Okay, because my mom used to listen to some guy a lot that said, and here's the rest of the story. So I can't do him because he's whoever he was, but who was that guy? Was that Paul Harvey?
Paul Harvey.
Okay,
That was Paul Harvey.
My mom liked him.
Before he died. Go ahead.
No, I remember in college, there was the skit, like a not a skit, but like talent night, whatever. So I did a Paul Harvey speech. I did the "If I Were the Devil" speech, and everyone thought, "What the hell are you talking about? This is not going to happen." And look at where we are. I was laughed at. Not kidding, because I've been wide awake with all this bullshit for a very long time. This is back in the 90s. Or shit, this is actually 1990 when I did it. God. So yeah, this this is insane. And I don't want to laugh anymore, and I want to do something. That's why I want to get married, so I can basically start a family and make that's the mission to do it, because that's a thing. It's like, what do we do? What do we do? What do you do? Well, you got to start with yourself. You got to start living a good life, clean life, and then basically, if 2 + 2 is 4, don't even say, well, it could be. No. I am a biologist. I know what a woman is. Basically, it's like women are women, men are men. And then
you want to meet a pretty one? You want to meet a pretty one there, Ruben? You're going to have to do some takeover work, because I want to tell you that if you go down to the southern border, the southern 5 or 7 counties along the Mexico-Texas border, if you do that, then you're going to bump into a young lady ages between 16 and 18. There's some people out there who are like, oh my God, Bruce, don't tell them. That's disgusting. That's almost pedophilia. Hold on. Mexican culture has a very special ceremony, the quinceañera, that happens for every young girl that turns 15 years old. And according to Mexican culture, during a young lady's quinceañera, she is now of the age to go off, find her husband, and start a family. That doesn't mean you have to start plowing the field, okay? But if you meet a young girl in Mexico or along the southern Texas area, and you're an older guy, you're my age or so, you're going to get hit on by her single and available aunt. If you know English and you can be well read and you can be you can lay out your arguments fairly well, and bonus points if you know Spanish too. But what happened to me in 2014, I went down to Edinburgh, Texas for the first time with a friend of mine, because he says during our days at work, he's like, hey, I want you to come down on your days off, come hang out with me and my family. We're having a big party. I'd like you to be there. So I think nothing of it. Sure, I'll go down there. I've got nothing going on. I'm homeless, basically. I was staying in
Did you
hotels
build
on
a
my days
harem?
off.
You built a harem, didn't you?
I did not. I absolutely ran from that. Like, there's points in my life where we could rewind and you could see where, like, there's a real pretty woman in my life, and like she was wanting to start a family and wanted my seed, and I just ran from it at the time.
Ruben, do not listen to this man. He's going to get you arrested. Go to Ukraine and buy yourself a life like a normal person.
No. Well, there's an irony here. I grew up in Laredo, Texas.
Okay.
And that's a hellhole. And every time I go down there, last time I was
two
there was
different points of view.
last there was in 2020. I wanted to kill every single person I saw. And I still do to this day. And I hope they all die.
I just want
That
to
whole
point out
area
that this whole thing started.
I have never
It's an infected area.
But Ruben, what made it a hellhole? What was wrong with it?
They're idiots, all of them.
The culture of South Texas,
It's fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded.
Are they all like cowboys and dipping skull and riding horses?
No.
Oh.
No. This is basically Laredo is stuck in the 80s still.
Hey, the 80s was the best decade. Throw some respect
No,
on there.
The bad 80s.
The bad 80s.
You like 1980?
Like the cocaine fueled 80s with like the bad jean jackets.
Oh, the good 80s.
If you go down to Laredo right now, you're
I'll
gonna see
it's disco is it's more disco bullshit.
That's the 70s.
Okay, 70s.
You
Mark.
go down to
Up, down.
Laredo and it's
Sorry.
like jean jackets everywhere, especially after 10 p.m. on a summer night. Like it's weird.
When I was a kid, I would always say something to them, and I did what Trump was accused of saying about Mexicans. So I basically told people, because I have Mexican blood in me, but I would say I'm not Mexican. I don't, I'm not an alcoholic, and I don't beat up women. So I'm not. So I would, and again, like, are you like you all do? Because I saw it. I saw what they do. And grade school, high school, around the area, it's decadence. It's insanity. Yeah, because again, there are people still. I would say 97% of people that went to school with are still live in the same city. They haven't left. They just stay there and rot away.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's funny. I saw one guy.
I remember in my school where people, by the time they graduated from high school, if they graduated, they already had 2 kids. Lots of the girls that I went to school with, and I was like, I'm not marrying no Okie from Muskogee. I'm getting the heck out of this place. So I'm glad I did.
People grow up with losers. Jesus, did anybody have a normal childhood but me?
No, I had a normal childhood until my dad retired when he got out of the military, and we had to move to
high school. I would
a teeny tiny speck of a town in Arkansas.
My first friend was my wife, and I was 27 when I met her. So I went 27 years without anybody to talk to. I never played with anybody. I just read my books. That's what I said. I read my music
to him, Ruben. You plow. I mean, you don't have to talk to him. Less conversation, the better. In a lot of cases,
I only interaction I had is
name. Not all of them.
The only interaction I really had was one time someone tried to hit me, and I turned around and bopped him, and that was it. No one would mess with me again. But then I just did my thing, and then went to school, and then it got worse. It got more decadent because I went to Chicago, and then they were like having sex all over the place in the college. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. I liked college. What? I played baseball. I got straight A's. I wasn't ugly. It was a good time.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. No, it was just. It's like, my God, it's like
asshole. That's what works.
Like fucking another damn sock on the door. Jesus Christ! It's like that's why I got a single after one semester. Couldn't take it anymore.
See, I just bought a tie rack and put it in front of the door, and they kind of figured at that point, all right, there's like 12 ties on there.
A tie rack, and you put it on the door?
Well, I put it in front of the door. I didn't put it on the door. I mean, you put
so then he basically, if there's two,
why would you put it on the door, near the door?
Because
so
if I put
two
all the
ties
ties
is
in
two
there,
women.
Janet, you can never turn the knob. It was just better to put the rack in front, and then he got the message. Come back tomorrow, maybe next week.
Oh, because you had somebody in your room?
Some buddies, yes.
Oh, some bodies.
And
what?
Tie rack.
I'm an
So
overachiever in all aspects of
you had
life.
multiple guests in your in your dorm. Was it your dorm or your apartment?
They were all pink ties, right? There were no blue ties in there, right? So,
I'm just saying, Ruben, that like if you are willing to sacrifice some morals, South Texas can be good for you.
No.
And like if you've got a good paying job,
it'd be like Ruben Haynes, a serial killer.
it would
just
like
don't go on the Newlyweds program
playing.
No.
What's her name?
You can
Couldn't
find
tell you.
yourself
Where'd you meet?
the
You don't
woman
wanna
that
know.
would. I don't know. You want a woman that'll bear kids. All those girls down there, usually by 18, like they're
no intelligence. Complete idiots.
So you do have standards. You have to have a woman
I have my stand. Yes,
you want an intellectual woman that wants to pop out a few babies.
Yeah, she has to be smart first. Someone to talk to, actually, and not just talk, but do stuff like basically like an activist or someone who wants to do on a wellness journey too, wants to continue to lose weight and cook good food, and then and do things for the community better.
So you guys can open up like a yoga studio together.
Exactly, something like
serve
that.
Like shakes and stuff that are healthy.
Correct.
Okay, well, see, there you go. That you're working on your whole resume right there.
Exactly. That's why I'm saved myself. Excuse me. I saved myself because the doctors told me that you won't believe what the things they told me to do. Remove my thymus gland because it's what's causing the issues. I have to be on these different medications. And then when something was really going wrong, they couldn't figure it out. Oh, they say it's just anxiety. Here's some psychotics for you. And I didn't take those. I was just like appalled, but it's this, take it. And I went, no. And then the last time I went to the doctor and I had that they found out if I had these tumors, they said, oh, you gotta cut them off. You gotta do this. And then you didn't continuing me to do shit I didn't want to do. And I said, no, I'm gonna do it naturally. So I analyzed the food. And today was my first day of working out. I have not worked out since before I was sick. So it's a big achievement to go back. So I've lost 180 pounds, not even working out yet. Not even working out at all.
Yeah, that's
I know.
But look, did you read this
going
one?
To Mexico, have you tried having?
I just want to address Fuji real quick.
Yeah.
If Fuji, if you think I'm a sus or whatever, that's fine. But I'm pretty certain Janet's hung out with me enough that if she felt I was a threat to kids, I'd have two in the dome and one in the neck. Okay.
Yes, for sure. Because I'm huge for kids.
In the chat, buddy.
Well, hang on, Janet. Have you ever seen any younger Latino women in and around his house? Maybe a maid or like a laundress.
It's just San Antonio. We don't have any of those.
Anybody doing the? Nothing?
No, because he has a wife.
And exactly how old is she?
He has a bunch of people hanging around.
What'd you say? She's
helping
like 10
him
to 15
play
or
Dungeons
15,
and Dragons. So no, I'm not suspicious of Bruce at all. I've spent many hours talking to Bruce.
She's in on it.
And you always saw his hands.
She's the Maxwell to his Epstein.
No way. That's bullshit. I am far from anything like that woman.
Yeah, I don't see her being a good lane.
Yeah, all three of you guys have talked to me a lot by ourselves. We've had conversations about a lot of things about who I am, what my points of view are on lots of topics. And I guarantee none of you would say that I'm anything like that Giselle Maxwell.
No. I fear one of these days, Janet, that you're going to be around somebody that cannot be trusted around kids. and you're going to need you're going to need an adult there to restrain you from throttling said person or putting them in the ground. Because you're like, if we get rid of this, the ones that are closest to this can feel safe. And that's an admirable mindset. That's the way people should be thinking. I don't
Yeah,
know
but just like the argument that I got into about why I would want to save that woman that was laying on the ground. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
That's
Did you see the video?
That's just me.
Did you see the video of that girl from Georgia saying, I have a sweet voice, but I get crazy, and everyone's like, sipping on her and all that stuff. Well, that's the kind of girl. You're saying about that Southern voice too. I just love that stuff.
Ruben.
Well, I'm still seeing tweets from men that saw that woman that said, "That guy back there, he's not real."
You laugh.
That woman, okay.
I couldn't hear what you're saying.
And all the guys were, all the guys are still drooling over that she's the marrying type of woman.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I'm telling you, you guys all want some weird shit. I just want normal, just normal. Raise some chickens, roasted vegetables, have fun, go hunting, go fishing, hiking, camping.
I want to meet somebody who's building a compound somewhere.
But here's something that I want to ask Bruce and Emperor. Okay, this is critical theoretically. As again, I feel this way, and I'm Janet. Maybe you and I feel the same way. If I hear a baby crying, I want to do. I get anxious and I want to do something about it. Okay.
Me too.
Now, is there a male equivalent with the sound of a voice of a woman like the girl and these other girls out there? Does that sound do something? I think it does, because the other thing that they incorporate in TikTok and like and social media now is like all those like twerking and all those sexing dances they do, because again, that is also historical. You hear about the whole Samson and Delilah.
It's a mating dance.
Yes. It's part of the mating ritual. It's all part of it activates your emotions, your sexual drives. Because again, that's
mine
ingrained
must not
in
work
us.
that way, because I don't remember twerking ever activating anything except annoyance in me.
No. But not everybody.
When I hear a baby cry or a small child, I just want to go over and hold them.
Correct.
I don't know if that's normal or
such a.
To me, I feel the same way.
I'm a freak or something.
No, I'm the same way.
I see little kids all the time. I can't even watch movies without getting all gay over kids.
Well, see, I can't go over to some other person's child who's crying and pick them up to comfort it, because then they're going to shoot me and put me in jail. Now, if you're asking
I'm not
me,
saying you would.
How do I react if I hear a child crying?
What does it stir up inside of you when you hear
it? Depends. Am I on a plane? Because then I want to throttle the kid.
Here's a snenario. That you just
lay it on me.
I did this. So I was with my friend needed me to take care of their kids. Took them to the playground. They're playing. Okay, and there's.
Oh, you're not a very good friend.
Okay, let me finish. So the mothers are sitting there, and I'm a little bit more standing with because the little girl wanted to go across the the bars. I'm just making sure she doesn't fall.
Monkey bars.
Right, but then another girl falls down and hurts herself. I go to the girl and, "Are you okay? What's going on here?" "It's okay, Mia, fine." Before the mother sees me doing it, and someone says, "You don't do that. That's not your kid." Yeah, but it's right there. She's right in front of me, falling down. It's right, not like it happened right in front of me. What do you do? No, come on. No, take care of the kid. So what would you have done? Is that wrong to have been?
You asking me or
everybody, basically. It's like that's it. In that scenario, you're playing with the girl right little there, and then someone else falls right in front of you, and the parents are not. They're not there. They're a little further away. Do you just basically?
Well, I would help the kid. I mean, I was one time I was at a swim meet, okay, and there was I didn't have any kids in the meet. I was there with a friend who's had 2 kids in the meet, and I was just standing around basically because they had enough people for like judges and people for blowing the whistle, all the different jobs, by the pool. So I was watching, but I looked over to the left of there, and there was a park over there, a little, like, it had a couple swings and a teeter totters and other stuff like that. And I saw bunches of kids, but I looked around, I didn't see any grown-ups over there. So I walked over there and I just walked around and watched the kids playing at the park. But then later, after that was all done and we left, and she said she couldn't find me, and I said, well, I was over at the park, which was, you could see if you look directly over there, you could see there wasn't trees or anything, blocking you out. And I said, well, I don't know. I just had a feeling I need to go over there and watch the kids at the little park over there because there was no adults. Right. And then she told me that there was a girl named, I can't remember her name. That went out of my head, that was kidnapped from the Alma Park in Alma, Arkansas. And she had one of those. She had one of those alerts named after her, and I can't remember what her name is. Amber Alert. Yeah. And it was years after that.
That's dark.
Well,
that's a dark.
I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. I just went blank. It was in my head, and then it just went away.
Way too depressed to go to sleep now. Thank you for that.
So, but the thing is,
the dog and the burning and the looting.
She said that girl was kidnapped from that park that I was at.
Okay, how I approach the situation, I look around. Is there a lot of witnesses? I make it very clear. I am not a pedophile. I am putting my hands up. This poor girl has fallen down through nothing to do with me.
Isn't that terrible?
Give medical aid.
Isn't that sad? That you feel like that you can't help a kid because somebody might point the finger at you.
I know, it's funny. Yes. I know it's funny.
You think I'm joking?
I know. I get it.
No, I just think it's sad that we are in a society now that we can't help people anymore because people automatically accuse you of something, or you think someone's going to accuse you of something, so you can't be yourself.
That's
you can't help things
anymore. So yeah, it does make me. If it's just somebody who scraped their knee or something, yeah, I'll help them up. If it's a serious situation, obviously, yes, I step in. Beyond that,
if I was walking down the street and a kid was riding a bike, or a couple kids, little ones, little boys or girls, it didn't matter, and one of them fell off their bike and they were crying and stuff, and whether I knew if their leg was broke or their arm or whatever, I would run over there and try to help the kid.
But
that's just a natural.
Think that chick's a pedophile. They're not going to look at it as a woman. For a guy, it's a lot different. You smile and you're laughing. I'm not kidding.
I understand what you're saying, and that's what I said. I think that's terrible that we're in a society now that a person that can't help another person, just like we were talking about earlier about hitchhikers. In Spaces, we were talking about how people used to hitchhike all the time, and now you can't hitchhike because I wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker for nothing. I don't. I would say crack my window, and I would say
I'm going to go see the country by.
Give me information, and I'll call someone when I get somewhere, or I'd call for them with my cell phone now. And call some help for them or something.
Have you never watched Unsolved Mysteries? That's half the show are hitchhikers.
Well, I just wouldn't do it. It's too scary. I wouldn't even pick up a woman.
Jones was a regular man. Walking the streets, hitchhiking across America.
I mean, how many of you guys would do it? Would you guys pick up a hitchhiker?
No.
That's somebody else's job.
Ruben, just say no.
Would you call? Would you call and say, "Hey, is there someone you need me to call for you, or what?"
It depends on what happens. Because I did it once. Well, I did it. Well, my God, here's what happened.
Oh God, here we go.
I've said this story before.
Is this another Amber Alert story? I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he had an alert named after him.
I was driving back from grocery shopping in Florida. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone laying on the grass in the field against the fence. The fence had fallen down a little bit, and they're like this. So I turned right around, went up, and said, "Miss, are you okay?" And then I can't get back to school, and there was a young girl. So I took her. I said, "Where's school?"
Is anybody really uncomfortable right now?
No,
Janet, play the Unsolved Mystery theme. Keep going.
So then what was so funny is when she sat down in my car, my coffee spilled on her. So I was trying to clean her off.
Oh no! Guess you'll have to take off those wet clothes. Sorry, man.
I'm serious.
Yeah, but was it hot coffee? Could you gotten burnt?
Here.
Yes, it was hot.
I'll pull down this dark alley.
Oh,
You
see,
go ahead
it
and
was
hop
hot.
out and take your shirts off.
Well, it wasn't hot. It was more warm because I had a cafe au lait. It's half cream, half coffee,
Mhm.
and I had already bought it, so it was more sticky than hot. But the point is that she was like, my God, 5 miles away from her school, and she'd gone there on her skateboard. So it's like, I took her back to school, and she's like a high school student. Oh my God, yeah.
Mhm.
And everyone says, Ruby, don't do that because it could have been a setup. I says, no, but that's what I did. And I remember in that story I told
Chris
that.
Hansen wasn't waiting for you to pull in. Can you step out of the
Well,
car?
I think that was
Over
nice
here.
of you. You told me that story
over here.
before,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it's just sad that we can't just be ourselves and help
All right,
people.
so if it's anything I've learned tonight, it's that Janet will stop for anybody in a fire, and Ruben will stop for any chick laying in a field. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I need to go. It is 12:30
Oh
tonight. I have
my
to work.
God.
Oh,
I
I
work
know,
almost 10 hours.
It's late. I can't believe it. It's our.
Well, you
it's,
guys can
it's
keep
late.
going. I have to leave, but I want
Well,
to thank you
no,
very much for the
we've been
invite.
doing this for 2.5 hours,
And it feels like it's
and I
been
got to get
3.
up early in the morning and get my stuff done because tomorrow we're playing our game Pathfinder.
Not everybody gets to play games, Janet. Some of us actually have to work. Some of us have that.
You work on Saturdays?
For overtime? Yes, I do.
Oh, overtime. That's right.
So
okay. Well,
good luck. Have fun.
I haven't played in weeks, so I'm excited we're getting to play.
Well, I appreciate the invite. This was a lot of fun tonight, and
thank you for helping out.
Do not go on a road trip with Bruce to Texas ever. If you're laying in a field, though, folks, Ruben may stop pick you up, and if you're in a fire, you better hope it's Janet. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry about the chat there. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, I wasn't. I was trying to keep up with reading it, but sometimes it gets too quick and I can't.
I don't know if I booted them or not, but there's like people that were asking to come on the fucking channel. And then one guy was
I asked about that guy. Did you know who that was?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we got the little cunt now in the chat. On my radar now, Bruce.
Demon King's Pickles or something?
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Not a clue. Not a clue.
Oh, okay.
And on my radar now, Bruce, you should be able to find me if you're such a stud.
Who's saying that?
Alamo City. 2332. I got somebody. Let me know where to come by. I'll be more than happy.
I don't know what is
Please come by.
2332. I don't understand what that means.
1132. He posted.
Oh, okay.
But like, you're gonna be bored if you don't understand, like, game terms. But you're thinking something I don't think you quite understand. You shouldn't quite, be knocking on this door. If you're not wanted, you'll probably get shot a lot. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. 6 Nation, 31 Kings. He's a hunter.
A troll.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Is a random troll. I didn't know. I didn't recognize their names. And I went to 2 of them's things, and I don't follow them, so I don't know who they are.
Like, after being at work for 12 hours today, then getting to go to the doctor for my fucking med card, it's like, what? I got to deal with.
Did you get that taken care of?
Fucking chat. Okay, let me explain the whole story since you're taking things out of context, you little cunt vessel. Fuckhole. I was in Edinburgh, and I was there getting hit on by girls that were freshly adults, according to their culture. I recognized the situation after I had it explained to me in plain English, which I'm not from South Texas. So I'm like, I'm going to go out to the car and lock it and just pass out because I've had probably 10 or 12 beers by now. I don't want any company. I want to sleep. Fall asleep. And this guy's accusing me of like taking advantage of kids. No, like these girls are told in their communities to find an older guy, marry and breed the shit out of him. And that's why you have Texas used to have the #1 underage motherhood statistics, or not adult consent age motherhood statistics. Granddaughters at 34, average age. That sound pretty normal to you there, Ruben?
Nope.
You don't know? I have actually coworkers that their wives were 34 and they were grandmas.
Jesus Christ. Well,
Yeah.
down in Texas, down in Laredo, yes, that is commonplace.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's very commonplace. That's why I didn't like it down there. I went, what the hell's going on here? It's like,
yeah,
it's very culturally inbred, and I don't like it.
Yes, that's the culture. You fucking retard. And if you don't know South Texas, but you're accusing me of something, which I'm pretty much never gonna be with anything under the age of 26. Okay, I like mine pickled. I like my women a little aged, a little experience. You know, my wife, thank God, she's like just only a decade younger than me. But it's funny because I get accused of all that. I'm like, who the fuck, and boy, who are these Nigers to come in here and say this? And I started doing hunts. Like, okay, well, this guy thinks he's a pedo hunter. This other guy is just a fucking troll. This other guy's a fucking troll, whatever. But no, I'll clear the air for you. And if you still want to come over and be a cunt, hey, that's fine. You can get carried off. Tomorrow, it's going to be possibly both Gregs and Chris. God damn it. Greg always comes fucking at least with 2 pistols. So yeah, come looking for trouble. God damn it. They won't be able to get you to your cart fast enough. And that's
well, don't worry about them.
No, I'm not.
They don't know you. They know nothing about you. They never will, and they're not worth your time.
They've got my YouTube channel and 13 years of uploading, which they're idiots if they're like, oh, I know this guy back and forward. I'm going to knock him off. He's a trumper. Blah. He's sus. Yeah.
Yeah, but that happens to everybody. I get stuff like that. I have people telling me, go to your planet, commit suicide. So it's like, who cares? Wow. Those people aren't worth your time.
They actually say that to you? God, there's some stupid
I've had people say that to me, yes.
Yeah, and see, that's
leave comments like that.
This is exactly why.
But to me, they're not normal people. There's something missing from them. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't waste my time on them.
Just like the movies of today, you know, the absent father, the broken hero, the misunderstood villain. You know, and then again, the whole idea of like racism, everything's racist, everything is against it, everything's, you're being oppressed. Someone's, you know, that's what they want. They want to have everybody feel miserable.
Oh yeah. That's
completely.
Typical troll mentality.
Right.
Well, that's because they're miserable, and they're going to stay miserable because they don't choose to do anything different. I mean, that's like I talked about why I started doing my channel in the first place, is that I made goofy videos and sent them to my friends and for fun. And one day, one of them said, you should put these on TikTok. And then I said, why not? I mean, I was in a place in my life where I felt like I needed something, you know what I mean? So I did it. And then YouTube started coming out with shorts. So I thought, what the heck? I already have a YouTube channel, even though I didn't do anything with it. I just would go to, chats and stuff like that. I would watch Doomcock and Gary do their Inquisition and stuff like that, which I loved. And so I decided to, and I talked to a few other mods that I've been talking to for a couple of years. They said, why don't you start your YouTube channel? So I did. I started putting all my goofy videos on that instead. And now look at me. I'm finally doing live streams and stuff. But I did it because I needed something. My life wasn't going the way I wanted it to go.
Yep.
And I've met some great people because of it. So
Yeah, it's funny. I saw the video I made one day before I had my very first attack back in 2020. Sorry, 2022. And I look sick. And I didn't even know how sick I was. And I've been basically fighting and fighting. And I was miserable because again, the doctors couldn't help me and all that stuff, or they wouldn't want me to do these things. I just couldn't see myself being cut up like a fish. And and then I still fell down, and then everything just I couldn't get up, and it was just a very horrific summer last year. And I'm just like to be pulling myself back because again, I believe tomorrow will be a better day. Even though I see everything around me collapsing, I know that I will be a survivor no matter what. And I ask myself, why is everything happening the way it's happening? Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something different. So instead of I'm prepared to rise, and that's what I'm saying. Look for a good woman who wants to do these things and be part. Like you said, either a yoga student, multiple income streams, but all good stuff. Just like the guy, he makes a song from his heart. And that's what I want to do. I want to do something from my heart, because I see basically, you hear like other people that we know have lost their job, just like I have. Some people are dealing with problems, cancer, family. They lost everything. I lost my family. I have nothing. But again, I'm still here because I believe that together we can do stuff. We're cheering each other up. We laugh at the whole world. We complain, but we are still resilient. Still believe that we'll see you next week. We're going to review this. We're going to do more stuff. We got to keep that positive attitude. That's what I'm doing. And again, that's the thing. And then the next step is to rebuild. And that's why I want to do. I want to get married again, find somebody, go somewhere, start a family, and then do something and have the good life, because the good life's out there. Because again, people are realizing now, I don't need Disney Plus. I don't need Netflix. I don't need this stuff anymore. I just need I will turn on YouTube. I'll see this song, and if they ban him, I'll go somewhere else. Because again, I'd rather have it here in our community, and this community. I don't want it to fall apart. I see what they're doing in Philly. I see what they're doing in LA. See what they did in New York. Not anymore. And make a difference. And it starts with just one person saying, "I'm done with this."
Because the thing is what I've found is that I've realized that I wasn't the only one that thought this way. I've found other people that think exactly the way I do. So I'm not alone. Right? You're not alone anymore when you realize you find other people that think the same way you do.
And that's what happened 2 years ago. Basically, this was the week of the Vegas meetup, and in 21, and that's where the one I went, because I'm literally dying. I'm dying, and I basically said, you know what, I'll go there. And when I met people, it basically said, I found my family finally. I found somebody who everyone who gets it, and then you hang out with everybody there, and then it was fun. So the last 2 years have been fun, getting to learn, talk to people, learn, explain things. I look forward to Friday because I get the FNT, and then I get this, and then every other day I get something. It's exciting. We're living life, and again, we're doing it in our little space in the world, but it can only grow from there. Because again, what we something's going to happen. And we need to be ready for it. And we're all going to do it right by it. We're going to make a difference.
Well, the thing is, I like it because I get to be with people. I enjoy their company. I learn new things every week because I'm starting to look into stuff, read things, research things to find out, what can we talk about. And sometimes I'm shocked. Sometimes I've cried when I've read some of the stuff because it's not something that you just normally look for. It's just something that you happen to see because you looked. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I still have faith in the world and that there could be a future and that it can be better because I still see goodness in so many people.
Right. And
that's why when Emperor teased about the end of the world coming, blah blah blah, it's Sodom and Gomorrah, it isn't. because Sodom and Gomorrah, there was nothing. There wasn't baby kittens. There wasn't babies being born. There wasn't someone caring whether someone fell off the monkey bars and hurt himself. There wasn't any of that. There was no empathy. There was nothing. You know, it was all disgusting depravity. And that's why God said, if you can find them, you can save those people. But he couldn't find anyone. So I can still look around and still see good things. So I know that we still have hope and we still have a chance to turn things around.
Yeah.
But, you know, I could be wrong because I'm just a person.
No. You're right. Because
I
again,
don't feel like I'm wrong.
it only takes one person to make a difference with somebody else. Because again, that's the thing. I want, basically, I'll describe it this way. I want a miracle to occur. Because again, all I need to do is find a woman who says yes.
But Reuben, all you have to do is look at the mirror, and you see a miracle every day.
I know.
Look where you've gotten in your life.
I know.
I lost over 100 pounds. Jesus, dude, that's like. Do you understand that right there?
Lost a whole person.
185 pounds. 185 pounds. I'm down.
Okay. I know, but you did it.
Yeah, nobody did
it.
Without
working out.
Yeah, but you did it. You worked out, planning everything and how you were going to do it, the meals that you were going to cook, what you were going to do that day, how what shows you wanted to do, who were you going to talk to, what was your decisions for each day. So you did work. It was just all in motivation. You see, but you did it and you've been successful at it. And each day that you do it and you wake up the next day, you've been another day added to your success.
Right.
And I think that's great. I think you should be proud of yourself, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And I was actually thinking about starting like doing a kick channel of doing workouts and call it alt-right fitness.
Yeah. I remember when you were talking about getting to go on your walk when you went to the walk in the park. Yes. So the thing is, that is a goal. That was a goal that you wanted, and you made it, and you achieved it. So not a lot of people can say that in their lives.
Thank you.
So
yeah, I know, but again, it's like, but again, is that the fact that almost dying and feeling death. It's like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Stop that. No, I don't want to feel like that ever again. It's like, I could feel it. And it hits you 3 times. I felt the worst time I was sick ever, like 2015. Then the whole 2022 thing, and then 2023 thing. Both that's the 3 big attacks, and I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm no more. Well, looking back, I'm gonna try and work hard every day.
Well, I'm proud of you. I think you're
doing
a wonderful job. And I can only see you going forward. And one day I'm going to have to come visit you and you're holding your baby in your arms.
I wish. Yes.
That will happen. You just have to keep doing what you're doing.
I'm going to shoot for the impossible dream and basically, be like the yes man, do something every day that's going to be different. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I basically said it. Because again, what happened to me, which is a miracle, I sold my desk, my monitor to somebody, and I gave them everything, and it was worth probably $3,000, but they only had $300. So I said, okay, you can use it now. I can't use it. Take it. So I gave them the money. So they gave me the money, and that was it. And then they called me yesterday and basically said, hey, how you doing? How are things going? And they're going, yeah, we're doing. And they said, we're doing better now. We basically started getting some sales in our business, what is it called again now? Solar business. And then they basically said, check your phone. And they sent me $500. So basically, and they didn't have to do that. They sent the money. So I was able to get my medication, some food, and then basically for us, I could continue to cook. And then now I was able to get also a link to get a month free membership at Planet Fitness. So I basically said, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take it, and then that's why the next phase is to continue to work out, look for work, because again, things are happening for a reason. you know, and I can't, because again, the one big thing that I couldn't get at all this year was a handicap sticker. It was so difficult. And now I'm ending up not needing it. Thank God, hopefully willing. I won't need it very shortly because I'll be able to walk and do stuff. So I'm basically, there's a reason for that. And then why am I here now in Chicagoland? There's a reason for that. So I got to basically continue to keep praying and keep forward working, fighting every day. So I'm doing it now. That's what I have to do. And then something's going to happen. I'm going to get a sign and they'll be happy. Because again, the dream will happen. Because again, here's the thing. I've seen things, and some things that I have seen when I was a little kid have come true. And one of the weirdest things was, and I'll tell you what happened. It was like I had a dream, like a nightmare, and it freaked me out. And it was basically everybody that was a man became a woman. Every woman became a man, and they did it willingly. Like they changed themselves to be something different. They couldn't accept who they were. And it was like, and then chaos happened. And that's what's happening now. Now, you know, everyone's being questioned what they're doing. So it's just insane. And then, of course, another thing was a flood or something. I don't know when that's going to happen. But it's something that happens soon too about that. Maybe it's the whole California thing. I don't know. Shoot. That's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Well, maybe what it's the way people react to things is what makes it bad. So, you know, but some people have good in them and they'll do good things. So I just wait to see.
True.
But tomorrow we're going to have Bruce and I are going to be spending the day together playing games. So it'll be fun with a bunch of other friends.
Yeah.
You excited about that? I am. I've missed it last time.
Seven at the table, I think. Not including chat. Got some people. Travis is bringing his girlfriend from now on. She's part of the party.
Okay. Good.
Were you there last time?
No, I didn't get to go last time. Remember, I was in Florida.
That's right. Well, Travis's girlfriend, Tiffany, who lives in Corpus, is part of the party now. And that's like the biggest change that's happened since you took off for a little enjoyment in Florida. That's the only thing that really is new. But I think it's pretty badass. And he's talking about moving down to Texas full time now, which is great. I mean, we didn't grow up together, but he lived 15 miles away from me. And we became friends in his teens, my 20s.
Yeah.
And he's known me at the table for 35 years. Good God. Yeah, he's known me a long time. But he's going to be there. She's going to be there. Chris and Greg are there, like I said. Maybe Joe from Scotland will be in as well. I don't know if he's going to be present on the web or not, but I know there's supposed to be like 7 or 8 players. And it's going to be a big ass party. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because I've missed everybody last time. So I don't know where we're going to be at on the map or what creatures we're going to have to see because I missed that.
We're still fighting these fuckers. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We're still after these fire giants. And there's a lot. You got a volcano full of them. Well, there might be like 40 dead now, but that's because you spent the last 3 sessions fighting fire giants. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, so anything you want to say to everybody, Ruben, before we leave?
No, just I have my channel. I do 3 videos a day. I have my weight loss channel, my weight loss quest. It's in the links in my videos. I put them over my videos. I have my channel here on YouTube that I use as a regular channel just to follow up on what my daily activities are. And then I have a Rebel channel where I go into deeper stuff. And I'll be doing more things as I get losing more weight, healing myself up. So find me on Twitter, X, my name. I have three there, 2 for each of the branches, because I want to start doing more investigative things and all that stuff, but it's all in there. So yeah, just thank you again. And I like being here. It's actually happy. Thank you.
Cool.
Well, you're welcome. Okay, Bruce, anything you want to say before we leave?
Monday. Do you know what our movie is?
Dangerous Liaisons.
Okay. Just making sure you remembered, because
and Sunday we'll be watching it in Bruce's Discord. So if anybody would like to join us, you know where to find us.
Yep. So looking forward to that. And if there's any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments here. Janet, if you guys leave comments in the comments of our live streams, one thing we like to do, we would start reviewing the live streams. And last time we did one of these, we had some comments, and that's something I want to start doing at the start of these episodes. I think that'd be a little bit fun.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to learn how to do all this stuff. I'm not real good at reading everything and responding and stuff yet, but I'll get better at it. I quit. So, but thank you guys for coming and helping me out and hanging out with me. And thank you to everybody in the chat for staying. And I enjoy all of you. And thank you so much. And if you want to say anything or just leave me a message or whatever on my YouTube, or you can send me a message on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, or it's what? Experience?
Twix. Twix.
Yeah, Twix.
It's the natural bridge between those two words.
Yeah, true.
Okay. But you can also leave message for me on my Instagram or my TikTok, because I know most of you guys don't like TikTok, but that's where I started because of my friends and stuff. So friends and family said, make a TikTok. So I did. But thank you so much. And I guess I'll talk to everybody later. But thank you for coming. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.